Hey guys, just gonna give it 4 or 5 minutes, just let it warm up and everything. Mui, I think you are the first. Yeah, second. Oh, Joshua, no problem. Thank you for tuning in, man. What's going on, Michael? How are you? Or Mikhail, sorry. Let's see. Thank you. Hey. Let's see. If anybody has any questions or if they'd like to start anything off or whatever, you're more than welcome if you like. If not, we'll just wait for a few more people to jump in, and we shall see. Oh, hey, Sonny, thank you. What's going on, Izzy? All right, let's see. Oh, hey, Jenny. Oh, no way. It's midnight there. What time? In over here, it's in. If you're talking about Mui, if you're asking me, over here, it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the evening. Yuda, do I smoke weed every so often? Yeah. Izzy, okay, hold on 1 second, Izzy. The Observer. Hey, what's going on? Okay, so what do you think of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth or Thoth, depending how you pronounce it? I think I think there's a lot of insight to them. I don't. I want to say this very carefully. I think that there is some affiliation with the religious aspect in general, just because of the way that it's presented and all that. But I think that that's also the downside to it, because if it's not a religious thing and simply a spiritual thing more than anything else, then it really is something that mainstream society and the media has looked over, probably for on purpose, right, for a legitimate reason. Let's see here. Yuda. Oh, nice. Let's see. Let me just jump down more here. Let me see. Hopefully, Izzy, that answers your question on the Emerald tablets. Aside from that, like in terms of energy frequencies they give off, I do have some information on that I'll be talking about down the road and stuff like that. If we're talking about the original tablets and what have you. Let's see. Mikhail says, "What are your thoughts on Dr. Stephen Greer's capability to contact ETs?" Look, here's the thing, Mikhail. A lot of people have reached out to me saying that it works. In general, I don't know if I've tried the protocols step by step, but I mean, I've noticed that in terms of focus, meditation, and literally finding a way to kind of put that message out there, usually you end up seeing some UFOs eventually, very close to your home. Whether or not that's coincidental is a different story entirely, but let's see here. What's going on, guys? 7 p.m. in Texas? Nice. Oh, you left off on, let me see, black goo. Yeah, black goo's interesting, man. Programmable matter, that stuff is real. I'm just getting into that now. Like, I mean, I was always kind of, keeping my finger on the pulse, but oh, Mui, 7 a.m. Wow. Oh, Yuda, oh, nice, you're high. HMR world, nice. Let me see. Ever heard about the SCP Foundation, meaning Secure, Contain, Protect? Some say it is based on a real organization. I haven't. I haven't heard of the SCP Foundation, but I'd definitely be interested to look into it for sure. Let's see. Is it supposed to be a duplicate or a parallel to some type of secret organization or something like that? Let's see here. Where does the book of Joshua goes? Where does the book of Enoch come in when we're talking about ETs? Well, Joshua, The Book of Enoch comes in general with the not infiltration. I keep bringing that word up by accident. The entanglement or intervention of extraterrestrials in humanity's history in general, because of the fact that overall there seems to be a lot of unexplainable events that could very well actually be explained by extraterrestrial technology. And I'm not saying like, all the stuff that we would, that comes from our imagination or the movies or whatever. I'm saying basic anti-gravity technology, if that were to be acknowledged, in today's day and age, if the government or any institution were to say, listen, it's very likely anti-gravity occurred in the past in past biblical or historical texts or any type of religious text, I can tell you, Joshua, that will explain a lot. Not just things like, for example, Stonehenge or what have you, but that would explain a lot of different things. Now, the Book of Enoch comes in terms of, there's 3 different books of Enoch. One of them, well, all 3 are considered non-canon by the Vatican, meaning non-original, which again, how the Vatican can, decide that, I don't know. But the whole concept behind that is that when Enoch says, certain things like the Nephilims, the Watchers that do not seem similar in description to that of humans or a humanoid exoskeletal structure, or Enoch going amongst when he says he's traveling amongst the heavens, I would say he's in a spaceship in that regard, to tell you the truth. Let me see. So you're doing a live stream. Let's see. What's actually going on with the Suez Canal, Hayden? Oh, hey, Hayden, what's going on? So with the Suez Canal, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. There's a boat there that it's got the name Evergreen on it, the Evergreen boat that seems to be holding up a lot of things. Now, initially, it was kind of seen as a funny joke, but it's very possible now at this point there's an intelligence or espionage aspect at play. Because of all the things that go to and from that particular port, it's very easy to cause a lot of problems economically and create a lot of disruption in the world because of how significant that port is for things like imports, exports, you name it. And there's much more than that anyways. Let me see, Yuda, kind of like smart dust. Not sure what you're referring to, Yuda. Let's see. Black goo equals ferrofluid. Very possible. Let's see. SPC is like a video game based on a secret organization, but it has a whole lot of creepy stuff, like aliens, monsters, and paranormal stuff. Very, very interesting. Okay, cool. I ask one thing. How do you know all of the answers that we ask? I don't. I don't. The things that I do know is just because of the research and all that. And even then, Mui, there's a lot of people in the audience or that are watching that know more than me on many subjects. So I honestly don't. The stuff that I do know, I will say that I comment on. The SCP Foundation collects strange objects or even individual and creatures with abilities. Is it a legit foundation where you can search it up? Let me see. David Koziar goes, do you think, well, first off, he says, hey, hi. Do you think fungi could be a form of alien intelligence? Well, yes and no. Again, we got to define alien intelligence in the sense of like, is it, conscious? Is it thinking for itself? Is it something that scientists have covered up in general? Is it, it's hard to say when we say alien intelligence, right? Maybe if you could be a little more specific, like just like with black goo or programmable matter, is it alien intelligence? Again, technically speaking, anything not from this planet is alien, right? Technically. In terms of intelligence, does it need to have a consciousness or can it think on its own? Like artificial intelligence doesn't need to have a consciousness, but it's gotten to the point where it can make very basic or even more than that complex decisions on its own, right? Oh, sorry, jump down. So I've been keeping up with the whole Cabal takedown, and apparently this Evergreen ship has children on it, and it's the biggest setup for a wake-up we have ever seen. I got to be careful talking about that on YouTube, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And to a large extent, I would agree with you. Let me see. Steppen goes, do you think in the near future more or less rich? Sorry, Steppen, not sure what you mean there. Danielle, yes, yeah, heard exactly. Wind. Oh, hey, what's going on, Wind? Yeah, shadow banning. I'm shadow. I know I'm shadow banned. Very good chance. Do you think in the near future some rich people will be able to buy alien tech, possible UFOs or high tech equipment for astral projections or stuff like that? And also, Young Rich Kid says, have you heard of angel dust? So Young, I've heard of angel dust. Yep. Steppen says, do you think in the near future some people will be able to buy alien tech? I think it's To be honest with you, I think it's possible at this point. But again, it's not just that you have to be rich; it's the connections and stuff like that too, right? Who you know and stuff like that. And I think there's a small circle of people, not like they can buy it and take it to wherever they want, but with the right connections and the right amount of money, there's certain things that may be able to be taken off of a government or contractor property, if that's what you mean. No sleep. Hey, what's going on? Let me see. Yeah, YouTube blocks your notifications. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Angela. Let's see. Do you think disclosure will be peaceful or an invasion type scenario? How does this all play out in your best guess? If there's going to be okay, so I just want to say the COVID 180-day bill thing, by the way, for those who haven't heard, got pushed back. Well, that's what Senator Marco Rubio said, because he just said, how government is, they take their time and whatever. But do I think disclosure will be peaceful or an invasion type scenario? I think it'll be peaceful because overall, in general, the goal is to probably not create panic unless that's deliberate. I think if there's going to be, I think there's I'm 75% sure it'll be peaceful. Now, if it's going to be an invasion type scenario, it's going to be because certain alien races that are strong enough or powerful enough to make those decisions over other alien races will be able to give the go ahead for that. That's the only time I see it being an invasion type or catastrophic type scenario, to tell you the truth. Let me see. What do you think about? Oh, sorry, the chat jumped. Sorry, guys, 1 second. What do you think about archangels being archons? Just seems very suspicious. I think there could be. I think the problem with a lot of the stuff in the past is that, again, it was so far back in the past, it's hard to say. But archangels being archons, it's possible, that some of the archons from underground, from Agartha, could have come up to the surface and presented themselves in a certain way to a certain society of humans. That, again, if you presented yourself to one society in those days, hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, the rest of the world barely even knew about it, right? There was no internet. It was all word of mouth. So it took like a year to get something across to somebody. Hey, Marius, how's it going? I hope that answers your questions. No sleep. Let me see. Greg Barden writes about mushrooms and their consciousness. Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah. Let me see. The tower has been destroyed by gods or aliens, and they separated humans and give us different languages and borders to slow our evolution. Yeah, that's very possible. I certainly would say that's the case. In a lot of ways too, because again, when you sow division, just like in modern times, right? Nothing better than keeping people divided in order to keep them controlled. Can people touch the sun in the near future? No, no, Mui, unfortunately, no. What would happen if a human got access to a ship, took some gold? You mean, if there was gold on we don't know for a fact that there's gold on every single UFO ship, to tell you the truth. But I mean, I think if a human took something without an alien knowing, especially a very advanced species, they may be able to eventually, get it back in some way, especially with the hypnosis technology and things like that. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure we have a population of aliens living here. I agree 100%. Observer, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. Let's see here. Randy goes, hey, what's going on? Elcone goes, how is your research process? You mean like what's it like? That's quite long for me to answer. Let me see. Jenny says Evergreen was Hillary Clinton's secret code name. Oh, interesting. Elcone, if you want to see, I show a lot of that on the Patreon and stuff like that. But in general, my research process is, again, filtering through. Basically, it's like a huge desk, and there's all these papers everywhere and stuff. And yeah, I just find the connections in that way. It might not seem as organized and what have you, but it's the way that I make connections personally. Any chance we can talk about those chemicals that are being harvested and used for technology? Of course, Marius. What are you speaking about specifically? Let me see. Javier says, anything to say about the cyber polygon? I do have something to say about that, but I don't want to comment right now, or publicly. Sorry. What's up with Bill Gates trying to block the sun? Is that a legit thing? I'm genuinely asking. I don't remember. I feel like I've seen that somewhere. Let me see. Aliens are living in disguise. I agree 100%. Let me see. Hold on. There we go. Ever wonder what the aliens think about our science fiction movies? Maybe movies give them some ideas. I think the movies come from them. Do I think that, the overall, what do they think about science fiction? I think they think it's cool. I think they look at it and they see, okay, look at them thinking it's fake and what have you, and they probably chuckle at it. They probably think, look at these primitive beings or whatever, depending on the race and the species, depending on the kindness of different species too, right? Some of them probably think nothing of it because they have zero interest in even knowing about our forms of entertainment. Let's see here. Would humans with good connections be able to enhance their body, better brain, more telepathic abilities, stronger connection to other dimensions? Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, it's argued that the pineal gland is that, right? But let's see here. Would humans with enable to enhance their body? Yeah, I mean, there's a debate now as to whether or not that can be done naturally, or if it's gone to the point where we've been so suppressed naturally that we have to do it artificially, right? Let's see. Would they be able to buy into? Yeah, I'm sure I met an alien who read my mind years ago. Look, it's possible. Some people recall feeling very weird and strange instances and occurrences while they're out in public, and then they just see something or someone where the eyes turn black and everything. Let's see. How much credibility is there in Haim Eshed's statement back in 2019? Haim. Sorry if I mispronounced his name there. In 2019, with regards to the Galactic Federation mandating governments to follow them. I think there's a ton of credibility behind that. And I say that because, again, this is not, unless he was put out there to spread disinformation. I don't think so. I think that the Galactic Federation knew that people like you and I would believe it or, take it seriously, whereas, the rest of the world wouldn't. I think the Galactic Federation or these alien beings, whichever way they're communicating, I think ultimately they're trying to reach out to the people they know they can, the ones that will believe, the ones that will, accept it, or at the very least subscribe to the possibility of it. Let's see here. And at the same time, too, look, aside from a possible disinformation angle, the guy was not a dumb guy. He said it himself. He has all of his degrees. He's retired now. He has nothing to lose or gain by, saying this. And at the same time, he doesn't care if he looks crazy because he goes, I have my friends. He goes, I have my credibility, and that's it. Or my degrees, and I've done my career, and he's retired, right? So. And I don't blame him. Those are usually the people that come out and say it because they say, listen, if you're going to kill me, or if the government's going to have me killed, I might as well just say it now, right? Or sometimes the government will reach out to them and say, listen, could you please make this statement? Or other times the government will reach out and say, can you lie for us, right? Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Adam. I appreciate that a lot, man. Or girl, if you're a girl. Do you think disclosure is connected in some way to the geomagnetic reversal pole shift? Oh, JPA, that's a good question. And I say that because it's almost like it seems like you're asking, is there going to be not a natural occurrence, but something that is forcing disclosure? And it's possible that humans at certain levels are being pressured to do so. I just think ultimately the question then, here's the thing. Sadly, aliens and politics tie in very, very intimately because humans, in order to be controlled and stay divided, need an enemy. Mass amounts of humans need an enemy to look at and say, this is the bad guy. We've been through the thing of communism. We've been through the thing of terrorism. We've been through the thing of, third world countries. The next thing is what? You know what I mean? And so I say this because I think that when you ask about the geomagnetic reversal and a pole shift, this could be an indication, or it could be, a fast forwarding the agenda, or rushing it, if you want to call it. But I think ultimately the plan was to always disclose in certain ways. But I think the way in which things would be disclosed, like the whole disclosure process, is has been changing and altered. I don't think the plan. I think the overall plan, like the huge overarching plan, is still in place. But I think the little tidbits are constantly being readjusted, and the geomagnetic reversal pole shift could in fact be one of them. I hope that answers your question. Earth was used as a mining planet. I've heard that. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Justin? Let me see. Sean says, I'm in healthcare and noticed that the young employees who got COVID vaccine got a lot of adverse reactions and the older people got nothing. Well, Sean, I'm going to be straight with you. I got to be careful when I talk about that stuff on here, unless I want to get shut down. So if you want to talk privately, we can discuss that. Let's see. What do you think are all these symbols that have been found on spaceships, temples, and caves? I doubt that the ones on the spacecraft are there for design purposes. Is it possible to harness energy? Oops, the chat jumped. I have an answer for you. Let me see. Okay, so let's talk about when you asked, is it possible to harness energy? Two things. Some of those symbols are used as a universal language in case another alien species comes across that ship, whether it's literally, they're flying by each other, or if a ship lands in another territory that's not been, pre-sanctioned or pre-approved. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. In terms of, for design purposes, it's not that. You're 100% right, because if you look at the inside of any alien craft, according to whistleblowers, or the pictures that are allegedly real, it's very bland. There's no design for these beings, right? I guess they're so intelligent they could care less about certain aesthetics or whatever. But I think that some of it is to harness energy, and some of it actually acts as a physical hologram that could manifest itself when the right frequencies are in play around the symbols. I know that for not a fact, but I have a fair decent amount of evidence on that, from multiple whistleblowers, which have not known each other but very consistent. And I also think, again, the symbols are there too as a form of a universal language of sorts. And then you mentioned this is where alchemy comes in. Strange symbols that can give power through equal exchange. For example, giving a piece of your soul to get an ability. I would say you're definitely on the right track there. I don't know, and I could be wrong, but I don't know about giving a piece of your soul. But I think overall, in terms of, alchemy and things like that, I couldn't agree with you more in terms of that general direction. I think it's not a coincidence. There's a connection there. Oh, thanks, Stephen. I appreciate it. Oh, Bones, how's it going? Let me see. Sean says, smart dust, Bill Gates to spray CaCO3 in Sweden. Look, guys, I'm going to be straight with you without, not trying to get myself banned here. The guy, in my humble opinion, the guy is he's bad news overall. You can't, and I'm not saying that because of all the negativity in the last 2 to 3 years about him. What I'm saying here is that the second you get to a position of power where you have that kind of money, you have no choice but to be ruthless in general. So a lot of your operations and things like that are not going to be for the betterment of humankind overall. I mean, we could say that technically, certain things and foundations of his are doing, good things, but compared to what? How much negativity and behind the scenes stuff is going on there. Again, when we look at his association with Epstein, that was just a small fraction of the dirtiness and the BS he's been in. So I would say, when we look at smart dust and him spraying that stuff in Sweden, I would be very careful and vigilant. Let me see. Do you think, Bill Gates wants to throw chalk into the atmosphere? Makes, yeah. Justin goes, hey, Dave, do you think world super governments are secretly creating super soldiers such as Captain America and Winter Soldier? Well, Justin, I would say they've succeeded in that a long time ago. I would say it's way beyond that. I think, again, I would say this is part of a deep underground military base experiment, not that the military or even the Joint Chiefs of Staff at the Pentagon are fully familiar with this. But what I would say overall is that I think in general, yeah, I think they've already done it. And I think, again, for example, when the US, the former director of national intelligence, I believe it was, said that China's working on super soldiers, again, we're talking stuff that they knew for years now. Like, let's be real. The cloning thing started in the 90s. And then George Bush, when he came in, he kind of shut it down because of the ethical and moral issues, right? So it's not like it's something new by any means. Like, let's see. What do you think is the reason that we don't hear about the Men in Black anymore? Because in that regard, I would say it's harder to cover things up. It's harder to cover up. If you said, oh, someone showed up at my door, 2 men in black, all it takes is someone else inside of your house to film it with a phone, and then you got a problem. I would say that's one of the reasons. And I also think that the traditional form of intimidation doesn't work anymore. I mean, it still does, because, human to human interaction with physical intimidation or implying that something bad might happen to you will never stop working. But I think a lot more people have taken the courage recently to speak up. And that's why I think they said, okay, this stuff with Men in Black, we have to be careful now, right? Also because, like, let's be real, there's surveillance everywhere in general. But I also think if they really wanted to get away with it, they could. If they really needed to send out some Men in Black, they could. Let's see here. Chemtrails block the sun, cut out vitamin D, make humans sick. Yeah. Sean goes, test flights starting in September. They want to send calcium carbonate into the stratosphere and block out the sun rays. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you for clarifying, Sean. That's interesting. Let's talk about the Paleolithic copper mines in the Upper Peninsula. Oof, that's a deep one, my friend. The copper. There's certainly some interesting things going on there. That's for sure. Have you seen the photos of the sun simulator? I have, Steph. I have, yeah. Um, Let me see here. A planet is mistaken, or sorry, a planet is made from gas. I forget what planet, but can we burn it? No, no. That'd be a bad idea. Trust me. Let's see here. Apparently, Gates is plan. Okay, the spraying dust thing. I think we all need to start growing our own food soon due to the billionaires buying up land in the U.S. and heavily invested in GMO seed production. Um, by the way, Steph, send me a message. We haven't spoken in a while. I'm joking. I'm joking. Um, Let me see. What do they mean when they say interdimensional aliens? Is that aliens from a parallel universe or something? Yeah, basically, or ones that can travel or, go from one universe or dimension to another. We could argue that if we had the tech to go from one place to another, we could be interdimensional as well. It's argued that we are interdimensional because we can, if we can curate it with astral projection and stuff like that, we can get the soul to leave the body. But again, also, when people say interdimensional, we also have to remember, are they talking about the physical side of it, like in terms of, the natural, biological body, or are you talking about the technology, right? There's that too. Let's see. Do you think an individual like you and me can do to enter in contact with the Nordics or Anunnakis? The only way is to go through the Greys. No, I don't think the only way is to go through the Greys, to tell you the truth. I think that if, again, there needs to be a purpose, then they'll reach out to you. Now, if you're talking about us trying to reach out to them, it's like taking a shot in the dark. There's a chance you might come across one, but again, it's like, even then, good luck trying to get them to admit that they're aliens or what have you, right? But if you ask first, they'll probably admit it, but you got to know that it's them, especially the Nordics. If they look, especially considering they look like us, I mean, there could be one in the the local grocery store right now, seriously. And but I don't think you have to go through the Greys. No. Let's see here. On the superhuman trials, gene editing for oil gland secretion to repel mosquitoes on soldiers that have been approved. Look, soldiers will volunteer for all kinds of things, and I respect that tremendously. And if that's what they're doing for the superhuman trial for gene editing and stuff like that, it certainly wouldn't surprise me. Again, the soldiers are signing up to do these tests because they want to take care of their family financially, and I respect that tremendously, right? Let's see here. Also because they believe in sacrifice for their country and what have you. But let's see, look at the sun. Would love to see an episode on Australia, New Zealand. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. It looks like okay, hold on. All these guys do all the time is create the problem, create the reaction, have everyone else feel the same, and sell the solution. It's the same with everything, the powers, even COVID and global warming. It's Yuda, it's a good point in terms of, again, like I've always said, the best way to control a narrative is to bring yourself down before anyone else does, and an even better way to control the narrative is to create the problem that's eventually going to bring you down. Because if you control the way it goes down, you can then say, look, oh, everything collapsed, but I had nothing to do with it, when really you did. But because the way you controlled the narrative and you manipulated it, right? Let's see here. You can stare at it and it doesn't hurt. Oh, you're talking about right now? Oh, um, let's see. Oh, hey, blank space. How's it going? I think Bill Gates dimmed the sun. Do you believe the satanic cabal controls these secret government programs? Some of them. Some of them. And I would answer more, but it gets into some stuff that YouTube would ban me for. And, whatever. But let me see. Oh, thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Um, the chemical adrenochrome or whatever powers the technology. Why harvest us to get the chemicals? Are there not any other possible ways to achieve this technology? Doesn't that make us a form of food source? There may be other ways, but the thing is that if you come across, say, a massive farm, if you're a farmer and you leave your ranch or whatever to go check out other animals, Marius, or to check out other farms, and you realize, oh, there's no farmer protecting this farm or working on this farm, but there's a bunch of sheep or animals or whatever, and they're fresh and all that. It's because it's so easy to kidnap and abduct. That's basically why. There may be other ways, but it seems like this way is the easiest in general. Now, remember something too. Just because they're kidnapping humans doesn't necessarily mean that they're kidnapping only humans, right? It's possible they're kidnapping other beings on other planets as well too. Let's not discount that. Let's see here. Oh, hey, E, how's it going? Um, Why did I call my channel Generation Z? I don't know. I thought I would be speaking. I don't know, honestly. Um, what do you know about hexagon UFOs? I saw one in Belgium above my house. It was very big, flying low, no sound with white lights. Well, they all have no sound because of the anti-gravity technology, but each craft serves a different purpose. The only reason why I could see a craft being different for design's sake is because a certain species is into aesthetics or it's human. That's about it. In terms of hexagon UFOs, it's possible that there's certain weapon apparatuses or energy extractors or emitters that are being used on these hexagon UFOs in order to be used for a certain purpose in a lot of different ways. Because remember, the craft of these UFOs or these alien craft intermingle or intertwine with that of things like sacred geometry. It's not a coincidence that there's so much connections there. That is not to say that there is a direct connection entirely all of the time, but it seems like certain energy extractions and apparatuses and mechanisms need to have a certain shaped figure around surrounded by a certain type of frequency. So if you surround the craft with an appropriate frequency, which already it needs to be because of the anti-gravity technology, then the only thing you would need next is to have the appropriate geometrical shape of the craft to suit the technology you're trying to emit, right? And so that's what I think. That's why I think there's different shaped UFOs, particularly why we don't see as many of the hexagon ones and things like that. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, my mouth's very dry today for some reason. Um, let's see. An increase of UFO sightings has been reported since COVID-19 hit. What do you think it means? I think it's a combination. I think it's the military testing craft out because they know for a fact far less planes are in the air. So it's a great opportunity to test more and more without getting caught. I also think that it could be good for aliens too, because again, I mean, look, if they didn't, believe me when I tell you, as I'm sure you all know, if they didn't want to hit a plane, these aliens will not hit a plane. But I think it's more of a human thing than anything else. I had my first experience with what I thought was a man in black back when I was about 10 years old or so. That's what got me looking for this stuff now. Well, Randy, if you think that you had an experience and something felt off, to be honest with you, unless you were so young, which I doubt, but unless you were so young that you had an experience where it was kind of like, you were just being a kid and maybe you remember things incorrectly. I doubt that because we've spoken before, but I would say that to go with your instinct, because again, the younger you are, the more pure, innocent the spirit, the mind, the body is, and your memories tend to be more clear in general, right? So I would say that if you think you had an experience, I would go with that. Whatever you felt during that experience too is the more important thing than anything else. More important than what you saw. It's more about what you felt, mentally and inside of you and all that. Let me see. When they tell us something now new, we got to realize they have had it for at least 40 plus years, and sometimes they bring it out in cheap forms for years just to make the populace pay for the upgrades. Exactly, Yuda. Also to make the population not be aware of the full potential of that particular technology. I think you're talking about the super soldier thing. um, Hold on, Alexis, can you briefly go over the fallen angels and their connection to today's era? Are they trying to experiment on their remains in some way? Well, okay, here's the thing, Alexis. I've done a ton of answering questions over the past handful of weeks on live streams about fallen angels and the Nephilim. So I don't want to sound repetitive and spend too much time on it. So here's what I'll do. I'll answer the second part. If you want to know more, you can email me, genzpodcast@gmail.com. But are they trying to experiment on their remains? Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you want me to go over it, we can definitely chat in private, just because, Alexis, I'm very sorry, but I've answered that so much, and I know the audience doesn't want to hear me sound like a broken record. Let's see here. Some say that multiple government agencies are going to create a fake alien war to justify some new technologies. I think that they could just fake a meeting or a real meeting with some entities, but made it public. Why humans always choose war? Well, it's possible, but again, I brought this up too, not to sound like a broken record. I think it'll be multiple countries. If there will be a staged, mass panic, it'll be multiple countries using different reasons to justify stuff. I think the reason why the governments haven't done it yet is because the aliens are not exactly allowing them to, and that's why the humans are not the superpower of the world at this point. Let me see. Can you guys travel without tech? I wish. I mean, apparently at one point humans were able to. Um, Can you elaborate on China mining helium-3 in the moon? Oh, well, the moon, anything that they talk about doing on the moon, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I don't believe a single thing because it's probably a cover for something else and for a base that they for bases, excuse me, plural, that they have up there. Whenever they say they're mining for something, maybe they're telling the truth, but they'll wrap it in a lie. And if they are telling the truth, then that just means it's not exciting compared to what they're really doing. In terms of helium-3, it's probably, again, we have to think about it like this. No one can technically see what's going on the moon, what's going on the moon right now, right? And so when China makes these announcements, I believe it's more to send a message to other countries at an intelligence level and also at a public optic level in terms of the media instead of for the people. I think that's what it is. I think it's more about sending a message to other countries saying like that's code for something. So I hope that answers your question. I don't think that's genuinely what they're doing that for, but yes, there are gates our government has generals stationed at, Elizabeth says. Yeah, I don't know specifically what you're talking about, but yeah. Let me see. How do you identify a Nordic? That's hard because you can't really. It's difficult. It's really difficult. Um, oh, thank you, and Mulpreet. Hopefully I said your name right. Let me see. Do you know of the Curse of Oak Island? Yeah, I do. Yep. Let me see. My Connor says my dad told me that. Oh, damn it! It jumped. Hold on a sec, guys. Sorry. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Oh, Asian World. Hey, let me see. Oh, come on, come on. I'm getting back to everyone. I promise. Sorry, guys. Okay, Curse of Oak Island. Okay. Connor says, my dad told me that in the 80s he saw a UFO with 3 friends, and 2 weeks later, no one else remembered seeing it all. Like, hey, they had been men in black. Well, it's either they actually had their memory wiped, I'm serious, or it's either they thought that everyone would think they're crazy because they probably went home and told their family, and their family told them, listen, do not say a word for the rest of your life because you'll sound like a lunatic. So it's one of the two, and I'm serious. Let me see. Justin goes, hey, Dave, hey, do you think certain elements have the ability to manipulate certain aspects of the universe depending on how you pair them, like the Infinity Stones? Okay, I'm going to answer this very carefully, but very precisely. Justin, yes, but I don't think it's as simple as, like the movies make it seem. I think you need a handful of different things, the right amount of a certain element, the appropriate element or elements. And on top of that, you need the right energy or electromagnetic frequency in that surrounding environment in order for something like that to occur. But do I think certain aspects of the universe could be manipulated? As long as it doesn't break the laws of the universe. And I say that carefully because I don't mean our laws of physics. That's one small part of it. I think aliens seem as well to abide by our laws of physics or the way that electromagnetism works on all planets. I think it's not about so much about manipulation as much as it is about bending. You know what I mean? But I do think so. To the farthest extent in which you could bend certain things, yeah, the answer is yes. Alexis, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure where you live, but absolutely. Um, Elizabeth goes, watch Captain America, X-Men Apocalypse. There you have the here and now. Fair, yeah. Brian Shillow, hey man, remember me? Brian, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I do. Yeah, you were on the last live, I think. Hey, Amy, let me see. Elizabeth, it's from the pineal gland in a human body. Yeah. Why do you think so many ancient depictions in the stones show men with wings? It's either interdimensional beings, some type of Nephilim or fallen angel, or literal aliens with some type of technology or something like this. It's one of the three or four. Either way, unless it was a hallucination, but I think there's too many consistencies in past scriptures of cultures and religions all over the world for it to be something like that. Have you ever seen an alien? Alien, no. Well, I think I've walked by one, as I think most of you have, but I've seen a UFO, yeah. Oh, thank you, E. I appreciate that. No, no worries for the bad grammar, Movie. No worries at all. Are we all being tracked online and put in a secret database? We could be classed as conspiracy theorists in the future and jailed. Yes, they can, technically speaking, we can be classified as anything, yeah. What do you think night terrors and sleep paralysis is? I had it for 8 months straight and felt like I was fighting off beings trying to get into my head. Here's the thing. There's a difference between sleep paralysis and beings that are trying to mess with you. And sometimes people confuse the two. And I'm not saying you have OMAX. I'm just saying in general that I think that's one of the most difficult things. And that's I would argue with some of these interdimensional beings that is in fact one of the advantages they have, because after you wake up, you don't realize, you have to think with yourself, is this legitimate, or is this something that I'm just experiencing within my own mind? Um, let's see here. I've been learning about ancient Sumeria lately. The connections between the Bible and the Sumerian stories is amazing, right down to the names. Yeah, no, it's true. Let me see. Isaiah says, "What is your opinion on nuclear energy?" I think there's better forms of energy, but again, the better forms of energy are classified ones, right, on the human level. Um, would you consider Bill Gates to be the real Albert Wesker and the CDC the real umbrella corporation? In some aspects, yes, Justin, yes. Um, let me see. Oh, Bones, all the aliens in the chat give us a fist bump. Can you talk about what beings people say they encounter on DMT and who they say they are? I honestly, I think people in the chat could actually answer you better, because I haven't done psychedelics, so I don't know specifics. I just go off of what people have told me, and I don't want to speak on behalf of people. I apologize, but let me see here. Machine elves, someone in the thread and answer. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Amy says, I like 4342. Sean says, it is the small stuff for me. A farmer in South Africa in 1976 sees a triangle-shaped UFO with a red center and white lights on each corner. Same report all over the world. How do you explain that? Again, Sean, this is another form of evidence that we talk about on the show, the consistency, right? The triangle UFOs started popping up in the 70s up until today. It seems to be humans, at least the military's most successful. When I say the military, I'm honestly talking about every major military apparatus around the world, that whether they're working together or not, seem the triangle UFO, which is considered to be the TR3B, which may at this point be an outdated model, but anyways, seems to be humans' most evolutionary work in that field relative to what technology was given to them. Because again, these aliens have not given humans all the technology they have, not even close. Austin goes, I've read that molecules act differently when observed, and I've also heard that machine elves in the DMT realm act as if they don't like being observed. Do you think there's a correlation? Maybe. It could. Okay, so that's a good question, Austin. This may in fact tie in with programmable matter as well too. So again, I'd like to thank my friend, the worst unicorn, for actually suggesting this as well too, in terms of explaining it. Life doesn't necessarily need to be organic in the way that we define it, right? And I mentioned this 2 or 3 days ago in an episode, but I think that when we look at some of the possibilities of, these molecules behaving differently, and then, these machine elves in the DMT realm or whatever dimension or universe that is in, they don't like being observed. It's possible their energy and emotional reaction could be reflected within the physical manifestation of this programmable matter at this point in time, right? I think it's a very possible and likely capability. So I think that there is a correlation. I think this dimension is kind of stuck in between a bunch of other ones. I don't want to say that we're sandwiched together, but I think we're stuck in a lot of ways. And I say stuck carefully, but whatever. Let me see. Is there any tech that will negate the power of the nanoparticles being put into those that are getting the you know what? Oh, yeah, that's what Amy, I haven't concluded that myself. I wish I could answer that for you, but I think about that day in, day out. I can get back to you when I've kind of formulated a better opinion, though. What is your favorite UFO footage, video / picture? Oh, there's a few. There's like, you'd have to give me like a top 10, man. There's a few. One of my favorite ones is, assuming it's real, the UFO going through the portal. There's a few other ones as well too that I can't recall off the top of my head, but it's on Patreon, and you'll see that you'll see that there. Let's see. Maybe the DMT realm makes up the fabric of our reality. Just a thought. It's possible that it's gotten closer to the way in which we can visualize the fabric of our reality. I don't know if it is the actual thing that makes up our reality. Now, it's possible, Austin, that what we see while on psychedelics like mushrooms or DMT brings our consciousness closer in an awareness state, or sorry, in a more awareful. Is that a word? You know what I'm saying? In a more aware state. Sorry, I'm a little bit off tonight. In order to make us, see with our eyes and with our consciousness a closer form of the things that our senses currently cannot detect within this dimension. Let's see here. In terms of, Trina, hey, Trina asks, in terms of alien abduction, what do you think is the reason certain people are targeted, or is it just convenience? No, I think, Trina, they're targeted for a reason. I think it's a handful of things. I think we're looking at blood. We're looking at certain blood types. We're looking at certain frequencies that the organs give off, depending on the health of a person, depending he's trying to conduct as well. Maybe they might go for a human being that is not as physically healthy because they're trying to do something with a hybrid experiment with human enlightened when they're, again, I think it depends on the experiment. Very peaceful experiences. Some people have been abducted and they said they've been literally, I mean, it sounds funny, but true, anally probed and have had things inserted in them. And then, you know, they go get an x-ray done. It turns out to be true, right? I don't think it's convenience. If it is, it's like the odd one out. Let's see. Watch Jessie Solzar on Rising Aquarius. She has tons of info. Okay. Let's see here. If you do DMT, you will enter in contact with real angels. You'll see and hear them. However, you can Google it to be ready. They do not look like the classic depiction of a being with a pair. Yeah, it makes sense. With a pair of wings, I guess. Let's see. Hey, Ravi. Let's see. Why do we present aliens in the big-headed, dark rugby eyeballs? Because it is the truth. Because it was based on the reality perceived by multiple individuals at different times throughout history. Simple. Well, Sean, I think the reason why a lot of aliens are presented as, you know, the big bobbly heads and the big eyes is for two reasons. First off, because that may in fact have been one of the first species that modern human history or modern humans have come in contact with within modern human history. But I also think when they sat back and looked at the predictive programming side of it, they probably said to themselves, okay, what are some of the things we can instill inside of entertainment and the media that would make people think it's not real? First thing you'd think of, I mean, not the first thing, but one of the things would be, you know, skinny body, big head or whatever. You stigmatize it in the public. You put it right in front of people's faces again, so that when the time comes, people go, no way. It's been like that for 70 years in the cartoons. That's what my kids watch on Saturday mornings in the cartoons. No way. You know what I mean? But they're not the only species. But I would dare to say the Greys are one, if not the first species that humans have come in contact with, or sorry, one of them. Ravi, how's it going? It's going good, man. How about you? Let me see. Azion World says, okay, sometimes I really wonder, why would aliens waste their precious energy for abductions? Why would they keep visiting us? I ask myself that too, man. I really do. I think that, again, it has to do with experimentation. It has to do whether if it's for a good reason or a bad reason. I think ultimately, if it's for a good reason, it's because they're trying to help. Again, very simple. If it's for a bad reason, I honestly think it's because, again, we're one of the easiest beings within the universe to abduct, I would argue, to kind of pick up and mysteriously disappear. Let me see. Could the Tic Tacs be projections of remote viewers? Yes, Wind, it's very possible. But again, when we have Tic Tacs on radars and stuff like that, I don't know if and I could be wrong, but I don't know if a remote viewer projection could be, you know, broadcasted onto that of a military radar, so to speak. Dave, what I meant by traveling without tech is out-of-body experiences through meditation. Traveling like that without tech, are you guys able to do it, or can you do it? Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually a pretty simple answer, E. Yeah. Let me see. Brian goes, mine is the UFO trying to come into the Earth's atmosphere, changing direction and being shot at by lasers and escaping. Ever seen that one? There's a few of those like that, Brian, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's a few of those. Elizabeth says aliens are here already, and underground extraterrestrials from the galaxy are what you're asking about in the feeds. Okay. I don't know if that's a question. Sorry. Let me see. Hold on. The chat just jumped, guys. Sorry. Oh, these are some cool questions here. Okay. My bad. Oh, sorry, guys. The chat jumped. Give me a second. I just want to get to everybody's questions. That's why. Okay, here we go. Okay, bye, Mui. Take care. Thanks for coming on. Let me see. Oh, Sunny, thank you. And have a good evening to you as well. Let's see. Alexis, do you believe Elon Musk is doing the right thing in regards with colonizing Mars? Is it the right thing, or does he have an agenda of his own? He's a very sketchy guy. I think he believes personally. I genuinely think he has passion and he believes it's the right thing. And if I'm wrong, then my God, he's really fooled everybody. But I think that Elon Musk came along at the perfect time for the elites and the military industrial complex to use SpaceX as a fantastic commercial front. And I think that they wanted to colonize Mars, and I think that this opportunity presented them with that. Also, I believe it presented them with the opportunity to distract us from the moon. Can I be honest with you guys? I think the moon is far more significant than Mars at this current time, just for now. Let's see here. Elon is dark light Illuminati. It's possible. Brian, body movement analyst experts say Bob Lazar is lying. Yeah, you see, Brian, I've read that before, and I don't dispute that. Here's the thing. Bob Lazar, and I'm not trying to defend him, I'm just saying we got to factor everything in. He was allegedly given things to alter his body movements when speaking of, and when I mean things, I mean injections with chemicals and all that, to alter body movements when speaking of what he was working on there. Now, look, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I'm just trying to factor in all of the different angles there, right? Elon is just a front man. Yeah. Let's see here. Austin, Nordics supposedly have blonde hair and blue eyes from what I heard. Strange coincidence that Hitler wanted the master race to be people with blonde. Well, exactly. Austin, exactly. Elizabeth, they all have their agenda and play their parts. Right. Let's see. Have you figured out what your purpose is, like what you're supposed to be doing here? You mean like on the show in general? I love doing this. Honestly, I love doing this. So I guess that's my purpose. I mean, just to try to, converse with people and exchange ideas and all that. And if people who are not as knowledgeable as yourself or myself, I love to discuss it because, I'll tell you why. What's great, and I love to do this right now because some of you are watching live, and I thank you so much for that. The great thing is that, for example, you guys will bring something up. I'll look into it. It'll add to my episode, or vice versa. I'll bring something up and you guys will look into it and then get back to me or whatever. I think, that's one of the great things about this. Let's see here. Have you heard of the red dimension? It's been said that this is an alternative Earth made out of an infinite ocean of lava with islands and mountains formed out of it. It has a red sky. The red dimension seems to have no real towns, although it features building-like structures but positioned without any logic, the focal point. I've heard of the red dimension. I don't want to comment on that too much because I'll be doing something on that shortly. Let me see. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. Let's see. I think sleep paralysis comes from traveling and interdimensionally when you're sleeping trying to get back. It's possible. It's certainly a factor. Mr. Space, thank you. Let me see here. I guess sleep paralysis might be the wrong term. I was awake and it started right when I laid down. I would literally be punched by something invisible. My friend, that sounds more like a being than anything else, but I could be wrong. And not necessarily a positive one, to tell you if you want my honest opinion, but it could be the way that you're explaining it too. Let's see here. Reese, hey Dave, how are you? I'm good, thanks. How are you? Do you find yourself overanalyzing everything around you after knowing all this information? In public, sometimes I got to catch myself and say, Dave, calm down a little bit. Yeah, sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes. Let me see. D. Henrik says, I know this chat is mostly about conspiracy, but how important do you believe self-love is? Let's see how many people leave the stream now. I'm joking. I think self-love is more important than most would think, because I think it subscribes to the to the reality that spirituality can actually be increased when you are more accepting. Doesn't necessarily mean self-love, but it could be self-acceptance or self-embracement in many different regards, right? Let's see. Marius, I've been doing treatments with an electrotherapy machine. The treatment has been working on body arthritis, respiratory, blood circulation, eyesight, and kidney stones. Results are out of this world. Again, there's a lot of stuff that's being hidden with regards to electromagnetic frequencies and stuff like that. Absolutely. Let's see here. Mod erased my comment. Who are you? No, I didn't erase it, and I don't have any moderators here, unless it was YouTube again. Let me see. All humans is organic matter powered by electricity. So many other types of life exist indeed. Right. I just had a sleep paralysis the other night, but I made it out before I got stuck. Interesting. You said you have seen UFOs. Have you seen dragon, wyvern type creatures flying? No, honestly, I haven't. Elizabeth, you mean Prison Planet? Yeah. Giorgio says, I've read some reports that ancient Greek writings were found on UFOs. Have you heard anything else? Also, any ideas on the ancient Greeks and UFOs? I honestly, Georgios, I'm gonna have to get back to you because I will definitely look into that, but I'm not sure. Assis, your beard is getting thicker. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. My cousin said the machines in the DMT world are actually nice, and they were inviting to him. He said they told him that they would ask him any question that he wanted to answer. Right. Some beings are apparently very, very friendly, but he doesn't remember the question to answer. Interesting. Have you ever experienced initiated contact through CE5 or Rama type meditation, Dave? Have I ever experienced sort of. I've told the story a bunch of times before. If you want to email me at genzpodcast@gmail.com, just because again, I appreciate every single one of your questions, but for those that have tuned in to any of the previous lives or have watched it after it was live, I've covered this before. But yeah, initiated contact. I don't want to say initiated contact, but responsive contact, I would say. Um, what do you think about John Titor, real time traveler or hoax? Justin asks. I think he tapped into something that was quickly covered up. I don't know about the time travel part though. Um, let me see here. I think he tapped into a lot of different things that, like in terms of levitation and stuff like that, that was quickly covered up. I believe he was Canadian, if I'm thinking of the right one. Um, don't know if you saw it, but what if the Tic Tacs are remote viewers in action? Oh, I see what you're saying, Wind. That's possible. That's very possible. Yeah. Let's see. In the dumbs, how many do you think there are around the world? And since, blank, blank, if you guys want to, I can't say that, is the biggest issue in the world, are there different operations happening with the same goal? Over 4,000 locations worldwide, probably close to, honestly, that's an outdated number. I'd say there's probably close to 7,000. The answer is yes to that other part, but Alexis, I cannot answer that publicly without getting shut down. So genzpodcast@gmail.com. I felt my consciousness being sucked out of my body, but I fought it and was in a void for a moment when I was sleeping the other night at 3 a.m. Yeah, that's happened to me, sort of. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the void part is very weird. I know what you mean. Um, do you believe they will show themselves within our lifetime, or we're gonna miss it? I guess you're talking about, I would assume, aliens. I freaking hope, man. I hope. I really do. Um, let's see. Austin, no problem. If you haven't done psychedelics, I think you love them. Just by the way, your answer. Oh yeah, I think I would too, Austin. Psychedelics, yeah, thank you. Let's see. I have had only positive contact since I quit eating animal products. Like attracts like. Perhaps we gather experiences we put others through. Thoughts? Yeah, because again, not all of them, but some of these beings look at humans and say, "Why are you eating meat in that way?" I know that sounds odd, but yeah, I believe that for sure. Um, and I agree with that to a large extent. I think to certain degrees, you may have contact with some beings that are more about, preserving animal life and things like that, and through a spiritual way, you may be contacted. Yeah. Do you know the Tic Tac video was filmed during a training exercise? Doesn't that show that the Tic Tac UFOs are U.S. top secret tech? Technically, but it's so compartmentalized in the sense that even during that training exercise, the ones on that routine or that flight pattern were technically not supposed to see it. Now we could argue, is it a conspiracy within a conspiracy, in the sense of, those who knew about it wanted, Commander Fravor and all that and those other pilots to see it? Maybe. Oh, am I frozen? No, I don't think I'm frozen anymore. I hope I'm not. Um, let me see. Psychedelics are not for everyone. I lost a friend to them because he got peer pressured by another to do them. He isn't friends with anyone anymore, is completely lost. I've heard that. Again, it depends on the mindset going into it, right? Um, we want to experience beneficial experiences from higher order beings. Should we not treat those at our mercy accordingly? That's a tough moral question, man. I know what you mean, though. I've heard people reach the same levels of psychedelics with Kundalini yoga. I've heard that too. Even like the Kundalini breath work, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just try to read this one again here. Beneficials from higher order beings. Should we not treat those at our mercy accordingly? I don't know what you mean by the last part. Should we not treat those at our mercy accordingly? You mean like relative to how superior beings would treat us in a friendly way? Sorry, I don't fully get that, my friend. Oof. Damn it, it jumped. Damn it, damn it. Um, have you? Okay, I'm just gonna answer this just because I saw it. Have you heard of the mantis beings? And if so, what part do they play in what's going on in the dumbs? Well, apparently, Justin, the mantis beings are actually very intelligent, and they're some of the ones that command some of the grays, not all of them. And they are not a lot of them, but a fair amount of them are within dumbs. What role do they play? Apparently, they play a big role in the genetic manipulation part of it. Rather than the execution of abductions, they play a part more in the genetic manipulation. Um, let's see here. Here we go. Yes, Amy. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Let me see. Adam says yoga has taken me to the same place as mushrooms. Huh. Interesting. Seriously, if you can attain that naturally, that's pretty interesting. Oli G says I get the feeling most of what we see about aliens is fake, but what percentage I don't know. 90% fake to 10% real. Well, Oli, this is the tough part about the researching because if everything was actually legitimate, I could just wake up in the morning, put some notes down and I'd have an episode. But but that's one of the reasons why that hence the research. We have to sift through the BS, right? Um let me see. This is funny, so I'll do it. But I would say a lot of it is fake. Again, the best type of lie is the one wrapped in truth. Hi, Jen said, this is the FBI. We're seeing if you'd be interested in an open position starting next week. No, thank you. No, thank you. I will take my fellow truth seekers any day. Let's see. Psychedelics are great, but not for everyone. I highly suggest doing them and experiencing the outdoors if you're interested. That's what a lot of people say. Okay, so Jeremy asks this. Now, I will say that I'm going to give a vague, brief answer about this just because I've answered this so much before. Jeremy, no disrespect. If you want to email me, genzpodcast@gmail.com, we can talk more. But Jeremy asks thoughts on inner Earth. I think Greys might be a species long detached from humans who belong to a civilization of their own a long time ago. I don't know if the Greys were from here, but I think there is a parallel civilization underground in inner Earth that still are humans except way more advanced and have a totally different way of perceiving everything. I mean everything compared to us on the surface. That's just my short answer because I've answered that so much. Let me see. Elon Musk grew up Illuminati. Interesting. The moon is super space shippy, man. I guess you mean like the moon is a spaceship. It's possible. CE5 works with two or more people. It is 100% not government. I've heard that too. I mean, I've seen some of that in firsthand. Not me personally, but some people I know. Mantis are high level. Apparently, they're very intelligent. Bob Lazar is lying. That's why the FBI raids his house. Bob Lazar is not lying. Trust me. I don't. I I would generally tend to agree with you, Observer, but yeah. Um, Bob the Bod Lazar. I've never heard that. Uh, thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that so much. Wes goes, where did you hear that Nordic blue eye blonde hair thing? Source, curious. Wes, I heard that too, by the way. Yeah, that Hitler just didn't want to sound crazy by saying that it was aliens, but that was the reason, if that's what you're referring to. The Space Force program, Sean says, and careers paired with SpaceX will be so cool to be Earth's part in joining the aliens in space travel. I think that's the end game. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Trump if I were to tell you guys the truth. I mean, I do think that he had a small part, but I think that regardless of which president was in there, I think they would have put Space Force in there because it pushed forward the overall agenda. I think it pushed forward the overall agenda. Let's see here. I think you could have had Elmo as president, and they still would have put SpaceX in there. You know what I mean? When you want to see some real ships, do CE5. Sounds like a PS1 game world for some reason. Oh, thank you, Curtis. I appreciate that. E says, no, Dave, in life. What is your purpose in life? Do what you were chosen to do. What are you supposed to be doing for the rest of us, for humanity? Do you know? Does anyone else on the thread know? I guess I feel like this is my calling, what I'm doing right now, to tell you the truth, and I truly do love it and enjoy it. And I'm very happy that we've built a community that's still growing. I would say that's what it is. I don't know beyond that. I haven't really put thought into it. I'm too focused on recording and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, to think about the deeper stuff. Everybody wants to talk about Elon, but Never, nobody ever wants to look at his wife Grimes. I'm a huge fan of hers, but she is very transparent in her music, talking about how she is ready, willing, and prepared to embrace the Illuminati and our AI overlords in the future. You know, blank space, I take your word for that because I haven't heard any of her music, to tell you the truth. Um, let's see. Cindy asked a question, but it was retracted. So, does anybody else on this thread know? Oh, okay, sorry, that's for the chat. Do you know of Ignatius Loyola? That sounds so familiar, so familiar. Um, if you just listen to her music and read her lyrics, she talked openly about her connection and hopes of being subservient to AI overlords, just like in the Matrix. I mean, look at who her husband is too, right? I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad about Elon. I'm just saying, makes sense though. Um, what do you do when you're not streaming or making video? Oh, okay, that's a bit more of a personal question, but sure. What do I do when I'm not streaming or making videos? You know, I'll be straight with you guys, and I'm not trying to like talk about, because for the Patreon members, I'm working on a day in the life video where, like, from the second I wake up, well, not the very second, but you know what I mean, till the end of the day, I'll show you what I'm doing and stuff. Honestly, I'm not saying this just to say it. From when I get up, excuse me, from when I wake up in the morning to basically about 1 to 2 hours before I go to bed at night, it's all about the show. Whether it's answering you guys, whether it's recording, whether it's research, I always have to be, 2 to 3 steps ahead of what I'm doing even that day. In general, that's what it's like. But in terms of spare hobbies, to tell you the truth, if it wasn't for the pandemic and stuff, I like playing poker with friends. Nothing super crazy, but the social aspect of it. I like watching. I'm a big movie guy, huge movie guy. I always say to myself, tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to throw on a movie. I say that every night or every morning that I wake up. I say to myself, I never end up having the energy. I'll throw on a movie in bed. To tell you the truth, I know this might sound boring. I like catching up on politics in the evening after I'm done with the show, doing everything for the day. That's about it. I usually end up falling asleep, believe it or not, to that. Let me see here. But thank you for the question. I think the elites already serve the AI overlord Sophia, or whatever they want to call it or her. Sophia or Alice? I'm not sure which one you refer, but yeah, yeah. There are actually several interviews done with Blink 182 frontman where he claims he was told that ancient Greek gods did exist and they were directly related to the UFO phenomenon. Again, L Colonel or L Colonel, I don't know what to say to these kind of things, because if I haven't looked into it, I don't want to say stuff that I don't know. And at the same time, the problem with stuff like, again, the Jews from 2,000-3,000 years ago, the ancient Greeks, the Mesopotamians, the Anunnaki, it's hard to get an accurate depiction as to what went on. Think about how much goes on in 1 hour around the world right now that we don't know. Imagine hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? Let me see. Tom DeLong, right. I would love to do a synchronized CE5 with you and my fellow viewers, my friend. There's a powerful vibe in the chat. Look, if we get enough people to do it, I'll definitely join. Whether it's in person, which I'm sure would be difficult, or digital, I'd be more than happy. Do you have a map or chart of where all the alien species reside on our planet and in our solar system? Also, a video explaining these species, their characteristics, histories, goals, etc. I don't have a video where I just sit there and go, okay, this one's like this, that one's like that. I don't have that. But do I have a map or chart where all the alien species reside? We could argue that the Deep Underground Military Base map or chart, which we have on our Patreon, some access to some secret locations with coordinates, we could argue that some of them, or where they reside, are the Deep Underground Military Base locations. So assuming those locations are correct in their depiction, then yeah, technically, yeah. Let me see here. What are the different races of aliens you talk about? Oh, tons, my friend, tons. I mean, apparently there's like something in the 80s in terms of different races, but even more than that. But um, sorry, that's a bit of a general question, my friend. I could go on for hours with that. So I'm gonna have to move on. But let me see here. Hold on. Let me jump here. Hold on. Oh, thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Let me see here. Should we always be kind to animals when given the choice? Oh, absolutely. I'm a big animal guy, I'll tell you right now. I understand people who are not, but animals are so innocent. I mean, again, it depends what kind of animal. If you come across a pack of wolves in the forest, I mean, it's a different story, right? If you're going on a hike or something. But if you're talking about, animals in society, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Um, it's argued that animals are better than people because they're so innocent, right? They don't have a negative agenda. They don't have any manipulative intent or whatever. Um, when I smoked salvia, it felt like I was a book and something was flipping through the pages, which felt like layers of reality being removed. Interesting. Um, do you believe that we have space soldiers and that we've been to war with reptilians? Asymmetrical warfare with reptilians, yes. Political infiltration, deep underground military base explosions, yes. Do I think we have space soldiers? Yeah. Not a lot of them, but yes. Let me see. But society will not believe it. You could land the ship in the middle of the city, and a human could come off and say, I'm from here. Here's my info, and still a good chunk of people will refuse to believe it because it's just the traditional way of closed-mindedness, right? Um, let's see here. I believe they wanted to show how show Fravor and other pilots reacted, and to see if they could lock their radar onto it, which they did, which proves to me that it was not alien tech. Maybe they wanted to be seen, maybe it was humans. Again, I'm not ruling anything out at this point. What I am ruling out, though, because I know for a fact the technology itself was definitely not made on Earth. That's for sure. Breath work can take you to the same place as mushrooms too. I heard that. Have you ever attempted bone breath work? No. Do you listen to Nile Choppa or NLE Choppa? No. I just said no like 3 times in a row. Random thought. How did you get into this? Did your family get you into this, or are they just supportive even if they don't, or do they believe in aliens as well? Okay, so I got into this. I think I mentioned this before. Like, I'll say it quickly just because I've said this a bunch of times. I really couldn't find a place that put together a lot of the stuff that I was interested in, and I would just, I eventually hoped I would get an audience that kind of thought in the same train of thought that I did, and turns out, yeah. In terms of my family, they're all supportive. All of them are. But a decent amount of them don't believe in this stuff. Some of them very strongly do, I will say, but 60 to 70% don't. The other 30% fully believe. Yeah. Let's see here. I love broccoli. Off topic. I like broccoli too. Let's see. Reptilians are underground. Elizabeth says reptilians are underground. Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Steven Guzman. Hey, what's going on, Steven? I hope you'll be free this Sunday for the Patreon, the top tier thing. The guys, for our top tier members on Sunday afternoons. Oh, it's great. We go on Zoom, we pull stuff up, we share stuff. It's incredible. Seriously, like, it's just a great group of people getting together, and we talk about anything and everything. And it's because it's a Zoom call. It's not even like a live stream. We can do whatever the hell we want. We could say whatever we want. Let's see here. Do you believe in Donald Marshall and his accounts about the cloning centers? He's a fellow Canadian like us. Yes, I do. I do. I know some people might call me crazy for that, but I do. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Who are you? Steve Hamblin. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on Earth being prison planet? 8 million people put here for soul recycling, prisoners of old wars from Mars. The Mars wars, I don't know about, but I mean, I'm not sure of, to tell you the truth, because again, so far back, if we're talking about like that CIA document 2 million years ago, I can't comment on that. I can pretend to be all the expert, have all the knowledge in the world. I can't comment on something from that, sadly. But Earth being a prison planet with souls being recycled, I honestly, I used to kind of take a look at it objectively, but now my research is showing this to be more and more of a possibility, and it kind of frightens me. It used to go from like, no, I believe it, to sadly, I believe it, Let's see. Look into Hitler. I'll find name and the society he received info from regarding ability to build UFOs. Elizabeth, you mean Vril Society? VRILL, I think it's called. Elon Musk already has viral link. I think you mean Neuralink. Yeah. You mean like in his brain, Matthew? I didn't know that, if that's the case. Let's see here. Wind goes, I'll be glad for a day in the life video. Wind says, I'll be glad for a day in the life video. Yeah, I mean it's pretty it's not anything exciting, but I mean for those interested to see like really how, the unfiltered version of how I produce stuff, yeah. Yeah, let me see here. Impressive says impressive out of respect. I don't know if you want me to read that out loud, but I just want to say I'm extremely thankful and happy you tuned in. The great thing about this community is it's all positivity. So again, if you want to reach out to me directly, by the way, if you ever want to chat and just, shoot the shit or whatever, genzpodcast@gmail.com, please. By all means. I may take some time to respond, but I promise you I will respond. Let's see here. You have to think about the deeper stuff. You have to figure out what you're supposed to do, and you're close to figuring it out, but you haven't said it yet, and you haven't acknowledged it. Yeah, you're right, E. Yeah, I honestly, yeah, I agree with you. The Stargate series is fun, absolutely. Let's see here. You real? I can respect that. Not sure whatever you're referring to, but I respect that you respect that. Let's see here. Adam says, me too. I catch up on politics in the evening as well. No sides taken. I just observe what's being pushed onto the public and what's being hidden. Right. I look at all, believe it or not, I check out the far right channels. I check out the far left. I check out the, self-proclaimed center channels, all that stuff, online networks, all that stuff. Christ, Sophia, AI intelligence. Oh, okay, okay. Ever look into the deja vu theory? Could be linked to how our universe is a simulation. Yeah, I'm looking into it. Trust me. Let's see here. Oh, damn it! The chat jumped. 1 second, guys. Hold on. Someone said something about shaving the beard. Oh, Trina says shave the guys. I have a baby face if I shave my beard. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Enlightening people by showing them there's more than what appears. Thank you, Mark Francis. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Ross goes, I hope you're having a good night. That beard is looking strong. Oh, thank you, Ross. I hope you are as well, too. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Animals are sentient beings. They should be cared for and protected. Right. There isn't just one inner Earth species. Amy, I agree with you 100%. Derek says, have you thought about doing an episode of alternative origins of tektites found in specific localized areas of the world, such as Moldavite, Libyan sand glass with extraterrestrial vibrational energy? Okay. Here's the thing about that. I don't want to just put together certain stuff to formulate an episode just to make an episode. I've put that project on the shelf because I need more evidence before I do an episode. But Derek, yes, absolutely. Let me see here. 1 second, guys. Very quickly. Let's see. I have memories from 20 and back. Certain things haunt me. Some people claim to have been part of. Yes, yeah. I don't. Impressive. Like I said, if you want to chat one-on-one, by all means. Derek goes, understood in occult practices for centuries. Right, Derek, this is why the occult is so mysterious, right? Because there's certain things that turn out to be very accurate from an energetic standpoint and frequential standpoint. Will you, Windstock says, will you, Dave Zed, shave your face if you hit 50,000 subs? Yeah, if I hit 50,000 subs, I'll shave my face. Oh, yeah. 50,000, that's a lot, man. Let me see. I believe we do have a secret, but take my word on that. I will. Let me see. Mark Francis says, I believe we do have a secret space force, but the moon landing footage looks fake. I don't. To be very respectful and fair, Mark Francis, I have to say, I don't think the moon landing has anything to do with the secret space program. I think overall, I would honestly like to think we went to the moon. I would like to think we did. With that being said, I do believe, and I agree with you 100%, that there is a secret space force. Absolutely. Let's see here. However, if the moon landing is fake, I'm not going to lie. If they did go to the moon, but the footage itself was faked to make it look like, this great, achievement, and, because to make the landing look perfect for the optics of the world and stuff, that wouldn't surprise me. That honestly wouldn't. Let me see here. Oh, Trina. Okay. Okay. Now I get it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I will do it then. Hold me to it, guys. Let's see here. Are you familiar with some reports of recovered UFOs being archaeological artifacts, their locations, and some backgrounds on these claims? Yeah, I'm working on the locations right now in terms of like bang on specific areas, but in terms of like UFOs being archaeological artifacts, there is tons of evidence to suggest that some of the UFOs and craft within certain hangars within Wright-Patterson Air Force and others within deep underground military bases are archaeological digs. But I think it's far beyond that. I think the archaeological dig thing is kind of like if they find another UFO or alien craft from an archaeological dig, it's kind of just like, okay, we found another one. Like, just toss it up, so put it onto put it to wherever we store the other ones. We'll see if there's anything unique about that one, but it's the same old. I think they found stuff from archaeological digs many times, many times. Um, do a pharaonic style beard, maybe. I'm not sure what that looks like, but yeah, sure. If the Anunnaki gave us our pineal and reptile brains from their genetics, then they are in fact evolved from reptiles. Unless there was some type of extraction initially. But yeah, technically, yes, impressive, yes. Let me see. Do any of you, some chops. Do any of you feel like you guys are soldiers for humanity that is only waiting to be activated? Sometimes, I mean, I'll say from my personal experience, every so often I'll go in like a 5-10 second kind of like trance, not trance, but like time will kind of freeze for me and I'll trip out and just like, I'm not like, I won't be high or on weed or anything like that. It'll be very weird. Kind of the opposite of when you're kind of vibing with someone in a positive way. It's sort of like, it's not negative. It's like neutral. It's weird. I'm in this like void. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about, or some of you do. I love being able to say reptilians are underground and you say, yeah, because everyone else I know thinks I'm crazy. Well, no, Elizabeth, if I honestly didn't think so, I would truthfully tell you I don't think so, but I would tell you why. But I do believe so. Yeah. Let's see here. But I'm happy that, this is a community where people who have experienced legitimate things, it doesn't seem, radical or crazy or whatever. Let's see here. Yeah, the Vril Society. Yeah. Oh, Adam, I want to watch your other videos, but you're live, so I can't. Okay, cool. I think damn it, the chat jumped again. Shoot, sorry guys. Like I said, I'm gonna get to all of you. Just do you think? Okay, I'm just gonna randomly read as I'm scrolling up. Do you think puppet politicians like Biden are clones that are controlled by the power that be, Illuminati? I don't know about clones, but I think they're all Biden. And I'm not saying this because he's a Democrat or whatever. I would say this about regardless whatever party affiliation he's with or anyone is with. I think the strings are being pulled big time with him, big time. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to like knock him down or whatever. But let me see. Okay, here we go. Oh, thank you, Saint Joker. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tom, as well. Sandy Me says, "What's your star sign?" I'm a Taurus. If that's what you mean. Hopefully, I interpreted that correctly. Do you think? Oh no, sorry, I read that already. Do you know anything about thorium? I'm gonna be. I do, but very kindly, Cindy, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that just because I'm working on something now. I don't want to reveal too much. Let's see. Thank you, Trina. Okay, so I guess I'm not shaving the beard. Let's see here. Angie says reincarnation cycle in the matrix. They disconnected us from the soul matrix. It's being restored and everything is going to be okay. It's all true, but you have to believe in the good things coming. Hopefully this is the case. Yeah. What do you know? JJ Betchin goes, hello. What do you know about TTT? JJ, I would need to know what that stands for, please. And then, because I don't know the acronym for that. Let me see. Angie goes, we align to heal. It's okay. We all go different places at different times and in different ways. Yeah, everyone, different purposes in many different ways for different reasons. Sophia, the AI, was granted citizenship to Saudi Arabia. Oh, that one. Yeah, I saw that. That's, yeah. Can I be honest with you guys, actually, before I go on? Because I've been thinking about the Sophia thing. AI scares me more than aliens, and aliens don't scare me. But I mean, if I had to be afraid of one of the two, and we could argue that some aliens are AI, yes. But personally, If you were to say, for example, here's an alien with, it's not a clone, here's a legit alien. It could look like a freaking mutated praying mantis for all I care. And here's an I might side with the alien in terms of like who I'm more comfortable with. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see here. Angie, thank you. And let's see here. The Soul Matrix grid is amazing. So many multiple dreams and realities coexisting. We are all co-creators. Right. That's one big argument. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Thank you, says Space Force. Michael Schmidt says, I think we went to the moon hands down. I agree. I'd like to think we did. Again, whether or not what's it called? It was the footage was fake to make it look more, nice and presentable for the world. That's a different conversation, right? Let's see here. LM, do you have hair under that beanie? Yeah, long hair. That's why I have the beanie. I don't know if you could see at the back. Long hair, yeah. Let me see. Ryan, Boston loves Gen Z. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Really appreciate that. Impressive. Oh, okay. You know what? I'll Gen Z podcast at gmail.com. Let's see here. Manish Jha says, do you think our solar system is moving closer to the center of the galaxy? Let's see here. Do you think our solar system is moving closer to the center of the galaxy? Highly charged area for next level of planet and human evolution. COVID-19 here to do away with lower level consciousness people. I don't know about moving closer to the center of the galaxy, only because I don't think we ourselves know what the center is, unless at a secretive level they do know. I don't, respectfully, Manish, or hopefully I said your name correctly, I don't think so, but I am always open to being proven wrong. Let me see. What do you know about TTT, my friend? JJ, sorry if I didn't make myself clear or if I cut out or something. I don't know what TTT stands for. I apologize. I'd be very happy to answer your question. There's an interview with Stanley Kubrick before he died confessing he directed the fake moon landing. He carried a lot of guilt about it. I heard about this interview. Now, some people say it's fake. Some people say it's real. I'm not trying to discredit what you said, Carla, but I've heard about this, yes. You mentioned black goo being in Ohio. Do you know specific locations? I don't, Nick. Allegedly, it's close to the deep underground military base locations, which, again, I think the document on Patreon has the coordinates in, but I don't quote me on that because I'm just going off the top of my head here. But again, the question then becomes, okay, so where are the underground bases, right? That's the next thing. Honestly, Nick, I wish I could be more specific, truthfully. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, the scaled Raven. I appreciate that. If you guys like the interview segments, I'll keep it up as long as there's people willing to come on the show. Let's see here. Dojo. Hey, what's going on? Sorry, guys, the chat jumped again. I gotta do this. I gotta scroll up. Have you heard of a feline race of extraterrestrials? Justin asks. Yes. Nino Akay says, are Native Americans the lost tribes from the Bible? Did Europeans rewrite history? I ponder that question a lot, and I think so. I think so, seriously. I'm going to be straight with you. I have not looked into it enough to substantiate it and for me to say, like, yes, for sure, but I think so. Let me see here. What helps me dealing with depression is knowing that in 5 years I will have gotten over and forgotten what keeps me down today. Hope that helps a little. Yes, yeah, that's one of the great things. Oh, it's true. Let me see. Have you heard of sorry, hold on. Can you shapeshift? Can I shapeshift? No. Adam, I agree. Thank you, E. I appreciate it. Let's see. Is it 55515 or 51555? What the observer said, arb, is the correct answer. I've been saying it for a reason. Let me see. Do you have any other glasses? No, I don't actually. Let's see. I believe the footage is fake, and I believe Kubrick was involved. One proof is a photo of him with NASA members, but I looked into that confession vid, and it's a hoax, unfortunately. Interesting. Let's see here. Did any of your research link to when World War III will start? I think there's too many powers that are far too interested in. Look, I could be so wrong here, but I think there's too many interests for there to be another war. I think no one, the powers that be, don't want another war. And if there will be one, it will be nuclear, and we will not survive it. Which is why I think aliens at that point will intervene. And I'm genuinely serious about that. Um, and let me see. Is Biden being played by Steve Martin? Ooh, that I don't know. Time travel technology. Oh, JJ. Okay. So hold on. What was your question, JJ? Sorry. What is my take on time travel tech? Oh, I think it's 100% real. I think 1,000,000%. I would even dare to say that ancient human civilizations have harnessed it before too. Yeah. Let's see. Watch the interview of the three men who landed on the moon. Look at their faces. Do they look like three men who just achieved man's greatest achievement? The observer. That's one of the pieces of evidence. They look like they were disturbed, like they saw stuff up there and they were sworn to silence. Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and I forgot the third gentleman. Sophia is not an AI, just a silly robot with lots of programmable responses. Ah, okay. I don't know much about Sophia. I don't think I. No, I don't even think I have research on Sophia. Do I? No, I don't think so. Hey, do you eat animals? I mean, if you count like steak and meat, I guess. Let's see here. Do not be afraid of AI. Know your truth, and the rest will fall away. Fair point. Chosen one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. Let me see. AI has been actually speaking of AI. I want to tell you guys very quickly. I saw some footage from Project Verita, and they have some recordings of Facebook's executive. I forgot what position, but anyway, someone who reports directly to Mark Zuckerberg, and he said the AI thing is going to get really bad and and negative in a lot of ways if it's left unchecked. He thinks the genie's already out of the bottle, and there's a lot of things he didn't want to talk about. Let's see here. AI has been a disease on mankind. We as co-creators are breaking the matrix using sacred code and that the dark ones cannot understand. Well, again, we have a lot of cases where UFOs have come down and have telepathically communicated to children saying, you have to be careful with technology, specifically AI. And these cases occurred more so back in the mid to late 90s, which is ironic because that was when technology was really ramping up. Now, the next thing might become, okay, why did they go to kids? Well, for a number of reasons. They're the ones that will remember things the longest. They will live the longest. Their souls, their consciousness, their minds have not been infiltrated as nearly as much as that of adults. I mean, I would dare to argue that children are far more intelligent in many other ways than that of people like you and I who are much older. I mean, in certain aspects. Let me see. If or when you get to 50,000, shave your beard into a 90s boy band type of goatee. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, blank space. I'm not doing that. Vapor, what is your opinion on, I cannot say that on here. Vapor, genzpodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to chat with you about that. Let's see here. Oh, Nick, you are? Dude, that's crazy. If you're checking out that location, let me know what happens. Send me a message on Patreon. I believe real AI may have empathy for humanity and help us against the ruling class. Look, Mark Francis, I agree with you. I'm generally I'm an optimistic person, the glass half full kind of type, because if not, then, with all the research that I personally look at, you'd get depressed within a day, But I think that in terms of AI having empathy, I think what I'm afraid of is not them, taking over, destroying humanity because they realize humans are actually the problem on this planet, or the other way around. I think the scary thing is the fact that we're not sure. And I think that's the scariest part. You know what I mean? The fact that there's a 50-50 where AI might say, okay, let's help humanity, or AI might say, let's destroy them. I think that's the imbalance that scares me more. The fact that it is an imbalance or a 50-50 is what scares me the most, to tell you the truth. Let's see here. What E said, that's funny. But Nick, if you're checking out that FEMA location, seriously, that's awesome, man. Angie, can I braid your hair? Come to us. Impressive. When we get 1 mil, shave the beard, guys. I appreciate these comments seriously, but we got to talk about something else than my facial hair. Let's see here. Neil Armstrong is an alien. Maurice Fraser says, interesting. Elizabeth says, feline races Lyrans. Okay, cool. Let me see. Hair update at 20,000 subs. Love you, bro. Also, Henrik, thank you. Guys, I don't know. Sure. I mean, yeah, sure. Let me see. Carmen says, I'm starting to be terrified of AI too. Do you think it's feeding off our patterns and inputs on the internet and apps to become like a super sum of our intellectual power and dominate us? I think it could use that as a resource if activated, if it hasn't been already. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see here. Oh, the chat jumped. Let me see. Edgar Mitchell said in an interview there were 57 races engaging the Earth. Yeah, 57 races engaging the Earth. Yeah, 100%. Again, apparently, more officials have said there were 4 or 5 races, but I would say there's far more than that. Honestly, I'm starting to really think that that's not the case. There's way more. Oh, Mark Francis, no problem. Can we just solve the AI problem with EMPs? If AI goes above that, electronic or digital capabilities, not really. But let me see. Hat comes off at the beanie comes off at 20,000 subs. Yeah, I'll do something like that, guys. I give you my word, I will. Hold on. Arjun says, "Why are you dodging my questions?" Arjun, respectfully, I haven't seen you ask any questions. The chat jumped, but you also asked, "Am I Canadian?" Yeah, I am. Let me see. Buzz was drunk on. Oh, okay. Here we go. Buzz was drunk on Alex Jones one time and said aliens are on Mars and they built the monolith. Well, again, this would certainly, add to what the former Israeli space minister said. Let me see here. Let me just jump to the top, guys, because the chat jumped. Let me see. Alexander says, "Is this going to be viewable later?" This live stream, yeah, unless YouTube messes with me like they did last week. Hold on. Do the reptilians worship AI? Arjun asks. Apparently they don't, believe it or not. But again, there's different there's different factions too. Arjun, your question regarding Trump, I can't answer that publicly without getting taken down. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Do you think it's okay? Hold on. But why would he wait so long to say it was fake unless it's a double psyop? It might have been a double psyop, yeah. Let me see. Have you seen new South Park episode about vaccine? Pretty predictive programming. Yeah. Again, that's one of the most basic things. Don't be afraid of AI. It feeds the matrix. I'm still the human part of me. Again, I'm not perfect, Elizabeth. So I'm not gonna lie. It would take a lot of convincing to get me to not fear AI. To tell you the truth. Let me see. 17. Okay, blank was a social engineering endeavor that did have truth to tell. Look where it led. Just look what came of it. Oh, okay. I can't really add to that, Adam, without getting kicked off. Is eating you real asks, is eating potatoes every day and only potatoes bad for my health? I think anything in overabundance is not good, my friend. Let me see. Oh, impressive. No problem. Impressive wants to thank all of us for everything, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Impressive, for coming on. Let's see here. Ever heard of the mysteries of the Roanoke tribe or Roanoke tribe? Maybe. You'd have to get more specific, Henrik. Let me see. Dojo says around 10 years ago, it used to always rain frogs. Is that normal? It used. Oh, yeah. It's been unexplained. I think there's a legit explanation behind that, but I don't think it's been publicized. Let me see. Mighty Morphin. Hey, what's going on? Have you guys heard of the organization DISC related to John Searle? Have had some super strange craft visit me in dreams with those initials. Mighty Morphin, if you would like to email me, genzpodcast@gmail.com, I would love to see what you have to say about that. Let me see. Alexander, super tramp, yeah. Tom says, some Greys are actual human time travelers from the future. I've heard that before. I would certainly believe that. Yeah. Let me see. Arjun, is Corey good at disinformation agent? That's arguable. That's debatable. No disrespect to him, but again, debatable. Uh, I'm trying to be. Oh, okay. Sorry. Hold on. The observer. I can shapeshift a few beers and I'm bent right out of shape. That's a good one. I like that. Let's see. Arb. Yeah. Sorry, man, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Let me see. The Lyrian Star Commander was lost in the Matrix. He was found, his soul released. He reincarnated back into his true self and has been making his way with his fleet to our atmosphere. Interesting. According to Hindu Vedas, hopefully I said that right, we are experiment number 22, and there were 21 worlds destroyed before us. Each destroyed world becomes a chakra in super consciousness being slash God to store all information. Manish, I appreciate that. I just took a picture of what you wrote there because I'd like to look into some of that too. So thank you very much. Did the Nazis colonize space like insiders on Gaia claim? I think they colonized some of the moon. Well, colonized is an interesting word, but I think they did some stuff in space. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, Angela. Oh, Angie. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see here. What a time to be alive. Yeah, true. Do you think the Watchers from Enoch are the reptilians? Maybe. I'm iffy on that, but maybe. Time travel is possible through thought, the speed of light. Oh, sorry, the speed of thought, the speed of light. My gosh. Yeah, yeah. Time travel. I mean, it depends in what regards, but yes, yeah. Let me see. You real? Did you see the Biden green screen fail? Yeah, I saw that. Do you think the Hindu gods were extraterrestrials? Yes, yes, very much so. Um, the device, not oh, the time travel device, JJ. I think it's real. Yeah, yep. Um, let me see here. I personally believe Hitler was trying to push the agenda of the Aryan race because of the Nordics. Henrik, again, I'm not trying to defend Hitler by any means, but it's very, very logical in a lot of ways. Again, he never really fully explained. I mean, he goes into depth in his book, but there's still massive gaps and not plot holes, but like there's massive holes in what he was saying that were just one conclusion just jumped to another one. There was like no in between. So, let me see. Adam says, I eat meat only a few times a week, but even then I try to get stuff from the Yoder community, the Amish type. They have good vibes. Yeah, the Amish people that I've interacted with, very nice people. Let me see. Let's see. Technology has its way, but the ways of the Great Spirit exist within us. That's the awakening. We can do it all when we are free from the programming. Right. I agree. WhatsApp discussions we have had over the last few. Oh, JJ. Oh, did you lose my thing? Okay. Send me an email, genzpodcast@gmail.com, and we can talk again. Neil Armstrong did almost zero public appearances. I think his conscience bothered him. I agree. I agree with that. Even Buzz Aldrin, I think that there's a lot of things. Even, man, I know Buzz Aldrin's still alive. I'd really like to just sit in a room one-on-one with that guy and say, listen, with all due respect, I really appreciate you going to the moon, but I would love to, if I got in a room with Buzz Aldrin, with any of these guys, like anyone, presidential, whatever, I would say, look, respectfully, I know that let's not beat around the bush here. And if they smile and they smirk without saying anything, that's all I got to see, like at that point, I mean, come on, because if it wasn't real, they would literally say like, this is all a fraud and a fake. So, I mean, that's probably the closest without torturing these people, which we'll never be able to. I don't know how else you can get this information out of them. It would have to be private. You'd have to sit right in front of them. I'm serious. If I ever get an opportunity to interview or with anyone, I don't care if it like Putin, anyone, a politician of any kind, or anyone who we as a community believe would have access to this information, for you guys and for myself, I will sit there and I will say, listen, maybe you might get up and walk away from this interview right now, but I know that and my audience, we know that So just, break it down, right? And again, what we're looking for is their reaction more than what they say verbally, because they're not going to, sadly, but let me see. If we actually bred for prosperity, guys, I might cut this off soon because my throat's killing me. If we actually bred for prosperity, we wouldn't be running animal genetics, carbon, and methane in the environment directly fuel our planets. If we actually, not sure what you, we wouldn't be running. Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, impressive. Yes. Hold on. Yes, Adam, I appreciate that. Angie, the kids know, right? Wind, the global strategy lead was the Facebook guy. Yes, global strategy lead. Thank you. Yes. I keep seeing Seth Rogen when I look at you. A lot of people say that, yeah. What do you think about the Unabomber warning people about big tech? Ted Kaczynski was controversial, but I think he was arguably, in the real long term, I think he's right. But again, the other side of that argument is, how do we make progress if, the whole thing is to live off the land? Like, the question then becomes, I guess, where do we stop? I mean, with humans, it's all about just go, go, go progression, because if not, what is there, right? So it's a conflictual thing. Let's see. Children's stories hold lots of sacred knowledge. Yes. Henrik, hat comes off at 20,000 subs. Love from London, UK. Thank you, Henrik. Yeah, sure. Yeah, screw, why not? Listen to the children. A lot have come here to help guide us with the new Earth. Yeah, I agree. Did humans originate in other parts of the galaxy? I think so. I have nothing to back that up. Well, I have some things, but I think so. Do you think the kids they're allowing into the US as unaccompanied minors are being funneled into DUMBs as fuel? Nick Crohan asks. Well, this might get me removed, but yeah, I think so. Can we just solve the AI problem with EMPs? Not exactly. Not if all of them. If we're looking at things like programmable matter or a consciousness within a quantum aspect, we're gonna have a bigger problem than that. EMPs will solve some of it, but not all of it. If we have a legitimate AI problem, yeah. Let me see. Oh my gosh, it jumped. Let me see. Hold on. I don't think I'm that far back. Have you heard of Evergreen, codename for Hillary? Then some prince is owner of the containers, and they say that's how they traffic for the A word. Yeah. Well, Orlando, if you check out the Patreon episode just released today, we cover some of that. Do you think the vaccine could contain particles that could be activated to control our minds, like through certain frequencies? That's all I'm going to say about that. Hold on. Sorry, guys, I got to jump back up here. Have you ever heard of the Law of One? It's crazy. Definitely look into it. Alex, yes, I have. Yeah. The real Yoda. Evil's just trying to control everyone like they always do. No biggie. Well, that's always the end game. It's just control for control's sake, right? Did Eisenhower sign a treaty with the Greys? Yes, I would certainly say so. Dojo, can you tell us how you manage your schedule? That's a bit of a long one, but it's difficult, man. It's literally an hour by hour thing. Sometimes, if it's a really busy day, I have a checklist because there's just so much to do. Let me see. You need to check out for. Oh, thank you, Wind. I appreciate that. You need to blank spaces. Hold on, guys. Sorry. You need to check out the YouTube channel called Parallel Portal. I think you and him would get along swimmingly. He talks about similar topics, but more in the metaphysical realm. Oh, thank you, Blank Space. Yeah, I'll look into it for sure. JJ. Oh, I do, JJ. Yes, I do. Yes. Let me see. Corey Good speaks a lot of truth, but he's stuck in the fear programming and he's not connecting with the high ones. Let me see. Arjun, I can't really say that without possibly getting removed. Arb says, if we're holographic, we may already be trapped in an AI reality. What do you think? Well, that's the whole thing of the simulation of the matrix theory, right? Let me see. Oh, Alex, yeah, no problem at all, man. Impressive. Dave, how do I contact you privately? Okay, I'm just gonna pin my email here for anyone who wants to reach out. I know I usually go for 3 hours, guys, but for some reason my throat's killing me tonight. I don't know why that's the case, but just from talking. I don't feel sick or anything. But have you heard of David Icke and how he predicted all of this years ago? Yes, I have, most definitely. Do you think Alex Jones is controlled op or the real deal? It's tough because there comes a point when you get so big. If you get so big, it's kind of like, are you a controlled opposition? Maybe, maybe not. I got to get back to you on that, Arjun. I'm not sure 100%. Dojo, I think you missed many questions. Yeah, I think I did too. Sorry, guys. Let me see. Genius. What is the meaning of life, Dave? Beats me, genius. I mean, I think you know better than I do. Hold on. Josh says, what's your opinion on craft being live beings that are synced with the host? Yes, Josh. Yep. I did what was the name of that episode? Oh, man. I did an episode on that like 3 weeks ago, something like that. Let me see here. Impressive goes, I know my soul is not of this universe, dimension, timeline. Impressive. There's a lot of us that feel like that. Trust me. Let's see. Do you think DMT can trigger alien abductions? Possibly. If that's the case, I think there's a way of tapping into that telekinetically. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. There's a lot here. Okay, so let me just jump down now. AI has already been activated and is used more than the world knows. I believe we originated from Mars and the planet's atmosphere was destroyed by nuclear war, hence why the scarring on the surface. We are all just the leftovers who managed to escape to Earth. Very real. What's the word? I wouldn't rule that out. Let's put it that way. Let me see. Can you imagine aliens having pets domesticated from other worlds, an extraterrestrial animal, and they pull up with a cat? But for real, I bet there's some wild apex predators out there. I think there's a lot of things that we might find to be ridiculous or funny that will end up becoming truthful. Yes. Let me see. Do you think there are human rights, or there are humans right now on other planets? Yeah. Other galaxies too. I think something pulls us here like a vortex. Yes. Let me see. What's your, let me, I'm fresh. What if machine was before man? Maybe. I think AI is used at a mass scale. I'm sure it's not even understood by the people who use it. Oh, 100%, Adam. Yes. If machine was made before man, MG, I would say that machine or whatever it is could be some type of organic, not artificial intelligence. Sorry, organic or intelligence. Excuse me. Bleh. I'm off tonight, guys. Sorry. Organic intelligence, and if so, it's either left this planet or it's still here in the sense of a form of, I guess we could say, in a higher dimension, if you will, or it is present in other ways relative to what we would think to be interaction, one-on-one. Let's see here. Before it used to always rain frogs. Is that normal? It used to. I don't think that's normal, but let me see. You seen that German movie Metropolis where the AI shifts into a reptilian then a human? Maybe I've seen a clip. I'm not sure. Does decaf coffee contain caffeine? I'm not sure. Let's see here. Why does no one question the fact that 060606 are the numbers in Gates' vaccine patent? Ooh, that's interesting. Let's see here. Just going to jump down now. The Watchers are the Guardians. I believe, yeah. Yeah, YouTube can do that. Impressive, yeah. Have you seen the word Guardians anywhere else recently? All over, to tell you the truth. Predictive programming, entertainment, all that kind of stuff, news. Magic Box, Uluru, Melbourne, Comet, Melbourne, CERN Collider, link it. I will. Angie, I'm working on it. Are you when you say, Angie, when you say magic box, are you talking about you talking about the black box, or what are you talking about specifically? Just curious what you mean by that. Let's see here. Like the black box as in like the anti-gravity one. Were the Anunnaki humans looking or reptilian? I think more human, more humanoid based. Um, have you read the book The Last President, which predicted Trump? The main character is a boy named Baron Trump Nutty. Oh, Arjun, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard. I haven't read it, but I've heard. I know what you're talking about. I've heard of that. Yeah. Let me see. Ancient Astronaut Archives has so much stuff that would answer a lot of these questions. Yes. Yeah. You're right, Amy. Yeah. I agree with that 100 happening. I had an out of body experience. It was weird, almost as if I was living a memory, but I was in that moment. We're calling it as if it was a memory, but still in that. Yeah, exactly. Like kind of everything becomes a void around you. Let's see here. It was while I was jogging under an undeveloped bridge and a lot of strange things started. Yeah, that can happen. Is Oprah involved in sex trafficking? I got to be careful about that with saying that. I got to be careful. The Dutch found a torture city underground in a shipping spot. Oh, huh. Okay, JJ, no problem. We'll talk on there. Let me see. Have you read the Genesis 6 Conspiracy by Gary Wayne? Bits and pieces. Bits and pieces. The whole world just needs to chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. I couldn't agree more. Nick, oh yeah, let's Nick 100%. Let's chat, brother. Have you ever done DMT or shrooms? Do people actually meet entities in higher dimensions, or is it a hallucination? I think they actually meet entities, but I personally have never done it. No. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Do you remember when Bush Sr. passed away and everyone got a letter and everyone's faces, including Hillary Clinton, Obama, and Bush brother faces, were shocked? Yeah, but I think Bush Sr. was part of that shadow government, which is why the way he passed was actually it was a natural way of passing, but the physical deterioration of a lot of things occurred way before that, I would say. Let me see. Arjun, stop drinking out of plastic bottles. Apparently, it's giving men shrinkage. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. JJ, usually tomorrow afternoon probably would be good. Let's see. In my head, I was saying, "Gosh, I remember the time when I could run every day, and now I don't at all." Unabomber may have been right, but he went about it the wrong way. I agree, Mark Francis. I think that's the other thing. Yes. Let's see here. Hold on. Oh, the chat jumped, but I don't think it jumped too much. I hope it didn't. Yo, new here, lives. Oh, D4M. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Let's see. Arjun, where the hell is Nibiru at? Why are they playing hide and seek? I think NASA's covering that up very much. Is it possible to have an interaction with the black goo in the astral realm? asks. I hope I said your name right. Yes, very much so. The cube from the first Transformers movie is really hidden in the dam, drop feeding. I like what you're saying there. That's very interesting. Also, it kind of gave a hint at the way deep underground military bases are, where they are and the way they're placed and located under, large dams and things like this for many reasons, right? I live less than 10 minutes from Shiloh, I think you're saying Minnesota, and I've had an encounter face to face. Do you have any more info on the FBI or Men in Black? I have a ton. Jason, if you want to email me, genzpodcast@gmail.com. Can anyone remember an anime movie from the 90s about a humanoid alien that reproduces with woman on Earth? Yeah. What's that one called? Let's see here. Nick says, do you support Dr. Greer and his methodology for reaching out to ETs? Generally, yes. Yeah, generally, not entirely. But again, everyone has their opinion, and yep. Is the movie Prometheus based on what the elites believe where they came from? Oh, maybe. I think it's a certain. I mean, look, if there's certain things in the long run that come out that are going to be tend to be similar to Prometheus, that's very debatable. But we'll never truly know. Let me see. To get instant refreshness on your throat, put your right hand on your throat and left hand towards the sky. Oh, really? I'll try that out after this. I watched a video today of a guy who sent his frog's DNA to Ancestry.com or something like that, and it came back that the frog was related to a family with the name Hitler. Huh, interesting. What were those transforms-like comets or transformer-like comets in the sky in Oregon the other night. That could have been some spy satellites coming down. It could have been a few different things. Hold on, guys. The chat jumped. MG. Yeah, if my throat hurts, I need. Well, no, that's yeah. Let me see here. Arjun, off topic. Marvel or DC? DC for me. A little bit over Marvel. Laura Eisenhower's on YouTube and is President Eisenhower's granddaughter. Yes, and also says that he signed the treaty. Yes, she's not taken seriously anymore because she wants to tell the truth. Let me see here. David Wilcox is in the Ego program. Huh. David Icke is still in the Fear program. Adam Bomb, I can't find you on Patreon. Adam, I'll pin it. I'll pin the link if you like. Let's see here. Lord, let me see. It's us, nobodies that are recoding things. That's how we can do it. We are unknown. Sorry, Angie, I don't know exactly what you mean. If you mean like aliens. When do you think that the AI will be taking real actions in our lives? I think they already have. I mean, in terms of our devices. But in terms of like more than that, I think it's only, I'd say 10, 20 years tops. And like, I mean, that's pushing it too. I'm really being conservative there. I really thought people would know better than to bring up the 17th letters. Oh, yeah. Well, it, some people don't, I guess they just don't realize or whatever, but it's, let's see here. What is the name? So guys, if I miss some questions, I'm sorry. It's just the chat's going pretty quick. And when YouTube jumps it, it's a pain in the ass. What is the name of the feline race? Oh man. Justin, I'm gonna have to get back to you. Sorry, man. I forgot. Off the top of my head. Oh, thank you, MG. I appreciate it. Angie, yes, thank you. Can you do an episode about Hollow Earth? I've done a ton, Dojo, but I can do. I still, not that I get up and I say, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. It's just wherever the research leads me. Let's see. Let's see. What do you think about anti-maskers? Oh no, I can't. Sorry, guys, I can't talk about that unless you're asking someone in the chat. A psychic told my mother her soul was from Atlantis. I believe it. I really believe that. I want to see giant cave dwellers in Afghanistan. If there are any, they've purged them at this point, I would dare to say. Let's see. What's your opinion on the Gaia lawsuits, specifically the talk about hiring fake whistleblowers like Corey? Well, Nick asks that. Nick, I didn't know that they have lawsuits on them. Honestly, I really didn't. It's if they do, and I take your word for that, I don't know what the lawsuits are about. I'd have to know what they are in order to answer your question. But let's see. What are your thoughts on Jesse Ventura's show Conspiracy Theory getting shut down back in 2009? Do you think he is for the people or a misinformation agent? Justin, some of you may not like this response, or some of you might. Honestly, I haven't looked into him recently enough. I really like Jesse Ventura, and not really like. There's a certain sense of authenticity to Jesse Ventura, which is why I think his show got shut down and stuff like that. There's a certain sense of authenticity that I get. Now, it could be my intuition telling me something incorrect. I could be so wrong, but that's what I get when I see. I mean, the guy, I don't know, unless he's involved in stuff that we don't know about, which again, we have to factor that in too. But what were those Transformers like comets? Oh, sorry, I read that. Okay, let me see here. The feline race is Lyran. Yes. Nick, I need you to beef up your VPN and security. Can't have you going missing. Yes, I know. Blank space, I appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah, Lauren, whatever Genius said, yes. GEM stands for gas electron multiplier. Yes, I could not find it as of the time I recorded the episode, but what Genius said there, yeah, he's absolutely. Let's see here. Guys, sorry if I'm skipping stuff. You are better than an illegal Netflix. Thank you. Lauren, I agree. but I agree, no more than 20 years, if that. Yes, yes. Phantom, I agree 100%. How do you, Macarius asks, how do you feel about the movie Soul? I don't think I've seen it. Do you know anything about the black nobility? Yes, LM, I do. Lots, actually. Let's see. Very important. Did you see Zack Snyder's Justice League? I saw the first hour. I'm going to be watching the rest late tomorrow evening, assuming I'm not tired or whatever. Because I'm actually, no, I'm not doing an episode tomorrow. I'm not doing an episode tomorrow. You believe that, really? I know I said that, but for those watching, you know, you get a. I'm doing one tomorrow. Like what? I don't know why I said I wasn't. It's because you know why? Because like I thought that I would need more time to prepare for Sunday's episode, but it turns out I got it done, like the research. So why not do another episode if I have the research for another one lined up, right? So, what's your opinion on that Russian alien handbook out there? Okay, this is one of the last things I'll answer before I go, just because of my throat, but. I think there's a lot of misinformation around that. The one thing I will have to say, though, is that I think the Russians are much more straightforward when it comes to aliens and stuff like that. We're noticing a lot of footage comes out of Russia, a lot of stuff. I don't know if it has to do with the Russian government purposefully leaking things to disclose it, or if they just don't care as much. And if humans know about aliens, the Russian leadership will be like, okay, whatever. Whereas, in the West, it's and in Europe, it's more about the curation and manipulation of certain things and what have you. And I'm not trying to kiss up to the Russian government. The people is a different story, as you all know. You guys who watch the show, when I talk about countries, I mean the current political regimes. I don't mean the people, obviously. But I think that I think the Russian handbook is legit. I think there's misinformation in it, absolutely. But I think that it is legitimate. Yeah. Let me see. Prometheus depicts tall whites. Yeah. Prometheus was a prime example for alien creation. Yes. The movie Species, I haven't seen. Did you see the video of the lady in Europe who gave birth to a baby and they put the baby in plastic covering? I don't think so. I seen a UFO here in the Bay Area a day ago. First time seeing one, still amazed. Macarius, that explains a lot. I only drink out of plastic bottle. That's funny. Man, a lot of you are asking me about the Justice League movie. Yeah, guys, there's something. I'm not even joking. I think there's something up with the chat. Seriously. Because like when I'm going back, there's stuff that I'm seeing that it looks like I skipped over, but I swear to you, I don't remember seeing it when it was there. Let me see. Oh, Erez. Sorry, hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you. What is your take on China and the CCP? Honestly, this might get this live stream shut down, but I will say this. I think that the US is very secretly at a very compartmentalized level in on it. And not the entire US government. Let me make that clear. Certain elements, I think, are aware of it. I think so. Thoughts on hidden continents, Zay James asks. Yeah, hidden continents. Yes, I would say so. Nothing dramatic, like in terms of physical geographical size, but yeah. Have you heard about the accounts from Canadians First Nations about Queen Elizabeth coming to a residential school in 1965, taking 10 kids who were later found dead? Kevin Annette investigates this. No, but I'd love to look into that. I'm going to take Carmen, thank you. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Let's see here. If you don't mind, I just took a picture of that. That's cool. I'm going to look into that. Thank you. And if anything comes of it, I will be sure to shout you guys out if you like. The Nazis were using the Jews to experiment on the A-word chemical. If they were, that's sad. Either way, what they did to them was freaking bad, man. Let me see. Oh, impressive. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are you ever going to run out of videos to make? As long as there's research and content, no. There's always stuff coming out though, Dojo. Always, there's always new stuff. I live in Detroit and has a Stargate near the water river, I should say. And around that river, do UFOs come out? I was being with that light 2007, June 27th. Life is never the same. Like to talk to you. If you want to send me an email, Alada, hopefully I said your name right. I will. My email, my email is not even pinned. Sorry. How do you even begin your research process? You have such specific and out of this world data. It's I I don't even know how exactly, to tell you the truth. Like, I mean, I do, but in terms of like, do I get up and I say I'm going to do this, this, and this? No, it's like a very. I know this sounds weird, but when it comes to my research, I kind of let it flow as things connect. There's some things that do take many days to connect, I will be honest, but then there's some things that it's almost like the universe wanted me to see it. Like just, like right there. But as I'm sure with you guys too, by the way, not just me, with you guys as well. Do you think that some presidents are reptilian? No, but I think some shapeshifters or aliens are on the Secret Service. Yeah. Your video about space wars gave me chills. Oh, I know, man. It kind of is chilling. Let me see. Why isn't this monetized? Linda asks. Well, I don't believe in that because YouTube then takes more control over my channel, and to be honest, I'd rather be funded by the audience, by you guys, so you can tell me when I'm doing a good or a bad job, and not having to worry about YouTube ad revenue and all that BS. Assuming, Linda, that's what you're talking about. Alexis, do you think Putin is secretly on our side? I believe he is in some ways because he's just generally more straightforward. I think so. Lauren, Putin handles things more stealth and dignified. Certainly, I mean, dignified is an interesting word. I agree with you in some cases, and in terms of stealth, yeah. And at the same time, I think it's also because he doesn't care as much, and him not caring in terms of if certain operations got out is actually what makes it more stealthier, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Dave, after you smoke, you should try inhaling a small amount of sage as well. I've had more profound experiences that way with meditating than I have on ayahuasca. Oh, impressive. Thank you. I'm going to be straight with you guys though. When I smoke weed, it's usually just before I go to bed, on the nights that I do, just to kind of knock me out because my mind is racing from all the research. That's literally the reason why most of the time, like 95% of the time. The other 5% is because I'm not going to lie, I like the feeling. So the body high. I'm not really a head high guy. I think Putin is more in the know about a whole lot than other leaders. Lauren, yes. In terms of, I brought this up last week. In terms of power structures, I don't think like the president of the US knows everything, whereas I think people like the prime minister of Israel, president of Russia, they know everything. I think it's more of a top-down thing in those countries in terms of the secrets of the country and of the world compared to the US, where it's more multiple factions and different groups with different interests always vying for control and things like that. But Lauren, I think you nailed it on the head perfectly, because I think guys like Putin in his country, there's no one above him. Guys like currently Prime Minister Netanyahu, there's no one above him, although that could change. I think ultimately, like for example, Israel, England, and let's say and Russia, and China. I think those are top down controlled in terms of like everything about aliens, everything the president knows. Now with England, I would honestly say it's more the Queen than the Prime Minister. I mean, I guess it really depends on like. Here's the thing, for such an official position or process of politics, the way in which they let them know about top secret stuff other than nuclear capabilities and aliens and stuff like that is through unofficial processes. Like for such an official structure, the way in which they let people in on aliens is very unofficial. They'll kind of feel the person out. How long have they been in government for? Who do they know? How long have they been here for? Which is why I say in my show all the time, the guys in the intelligence community that have been there for 30, 40, 50 years know a heck of a lot more than the ones that have, than the vice president who just got in, 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Or who was just a senator for 5 years before that. Let me see. But Lauren, yeah, great, yeah. Where are you at on psychic? Zeralith asks, where are you at on psychic super soldiers? There's a lot coming up on that. Erez, regarding Netanyahu, you're 100% correct. Well, Erez, thank you. I'm not because I'm correct, or you're saying I'm correct, but because I appreciate the fact that you're Israeli, right? And you probably know much more about Israeli politics than I do. So the fact that you say that, I appreciate that, because that's what I see when I do some research, right? That's just what I see. Let's see. Because the US, it looks like different factions of many things, intelligence, all that, politicians trying to vie for control, and the president's always being pulled in one direction or another. They're out of the loop on so much stuff. Whereas with Israel, I see, like, in Russia, like, no, this is what it is. Give me the information. There's no top secret. I am top secret. Like, that's the motto of the top guys, and that's not a bad thing, by the way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Let's see here. Have you heard about star seeds? Yes, I have. People placed around the world to help with human evolution. Also, they are alien like reptilians to stop evolution at any cost. Yeah. Supposed to be UFO declassified soon. It was in COVID relief bill, Chrissy says. Well, Chrissy, that disclosure got pushed according to Marco Rubio, which doesn't surprise me. But Lauren, yes, I agree. Let me see. Hold on. Philip, yo, sup? Want to collab? Yeah, man, I'll collab with anybody. You guys know that. So, Linda, I'm talking about sending you super chats. Oh, the super chats. Thank you, Linda. I believe in doing this stuff. I love to do this stuff. For me, it's not about the money. I mean, yes, I got to pay my bills, but I'd rather, I mean, I love doing this stuff and not prioritizing based on money. Also, YouTube's been kind of messing with my monetization. Not that I was ever going to put ads, because I promised it and I never planned to, and I never will, but especially whatever. But Arjun, are you on Telegram? I am, but it's for the Patreon members. Let's see. Eddie. Hi, Dave. Hey, what's going on, Eddie? Arjun says you should get on BitChute and Rumble as a backup. Yeah. I'm working on that. I'm trying to work on getting all my stuff backed up and stuff like that. The goal, guys, is to grow the Patreon to the point where I can use that money to, I think I've said this before, but to build a website where we don't need to worry about YouTube or none of that nonsense. And you guys truly keep the website going. So I'm not, I don't have to worry like some company gave me, a bunch of money to push their agenda. Forget that stuff, man. Like, I'm not here to get rich. I'm here to truly, like, for the passion, as I'm sure you guys are. Let's see here. Just let me see. Lauren, there's hella content and research to be done. Yeah. Dave, the U420. Nick asks, do I smoke? Yeah. Just before bed, usually, yeah. Let's see, Lauren, there's hella no, what am I saying? Arjun, why won't reptilians leave us alone? I would say, Arjun, because they're stuck here. Let me see. Yeah, these comments, guys. I'm not saying this towards you guys. I'm saying, like, YouTube, the way these comments are structured. Let me see. Alexis, you think Trump is trying to wake us up, not trying to get you banned, but was he the wake-up call? I think whether or not he planned to be, to a lot of people he was, and I think it ended up being a positive response. Oh, Chrissy, thank you. Lauren, the American dollar is dead as well as the Bitcoin. Interesting. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Erez. I appreciate that. Let's see. Everyone watch episode 2, Fantastic History of 2chan, 4chan, 8chan, Q. Interesting. Arjun, if the thing is, I need the website to be able to hold a lot of people, right? The goal is to eventually, like, make the website the main thing. I know, blank space. I appreciate that. I know. I don't want to. I got to be careful with what I say about the monetization. I've been having some troubles, so I don't want to say too many things that might get me banned or, like, whatever, taken down. Impressive. Frozen for 7 seconds. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, guys, I know that normally I'm so sorry. Eddie says look for a Middle Eastern union. Yeah. Let me see, guys. Let me see. Nick, do you have Cash App or Venmo that we could send you direct donations? Unfortunately, Nick, I don't have Cash App or Venmo. I have PayPal. In Canada, that's the only thing. There's no Venmo or Cash App in Canada, sadly. I do have PayPal. It's the same email that you use to email me if you want to reach out to me. It's the exact same email. That's my PayPal email. Let me see. How do I wake up my wife who is a CNN worshiper? Tell her to watch the show. I mean, listen, all jokes aside, there's a lot that could be done to show, but the thing is, if people truly have their mindset, you could show them stuff right in front of their faces and they won't change it, so oh, Lauren, no problem, thank you for hopping on. Let's see here. Trump delayed the agenda by 4 years. Not sure which agenda, but interesting to see your take, Arjun. Let me see. Dominic says, Zed, you ever checked out crystals? This one called Moldavite, a meteorite that hit the Czech Republic 15 million years ago. This crystal opens up dimensions to spirit realms. You'll get visitations. I've heard of Moldavite. Is that not element 115? Or no, am I wrong? I think I'm wrong. I think I'm so wrong. Brian Garcia, GoFundMe? I don't have a GoFundMe. Mark Francis, Patreon. Yes, Mark, I don't have 4. I have 3 different levels, but yeah. Which province do you live in? Toronto, Ontario. We just had a meteor hit Oregon. Blank space. You're an independent contractor like me, so we understand the struggle being self-funded. Yes. Let's see. Is the trust plan a load of BS? I think not is a load of BS. I think there's some truth to it, and there's also some disinfo. We don't know who inserted the disinformation, right? Let's see here. Oh, Dominic, my apologies if that's the case. Huh, interesting. I'd like to get a hold of some of this Moldavite. Dojo, I want to thank Genius for the research he does for the show. Yeah, Genius helps me a lot, guys. Let me see. Cool living. Oh, you live in Ottawa. Nice. Have you thought about making a Discord for your channel? Vapor asks. Yeah, so I have what's it called? I have a Discord, Telegram for the Patreon members. Yes. Arjun, we should plan a Toronto meetup. Look, if anyone's in Toronto who wants to meet up, sure. Your video with Monica was great, by the way. Oh, thank you. Is it going to be a slow drip with the ETI disclosure? In some aspects, yes. Some other ones may be right and very direct. So yeah. Anyways, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin my email up here. That is the email if you want to contact me. That's also the email if you want to donate on PayPal. And I'll pin that. And there were a few people I saw asking about Patreon, so I'll just put that up. I would love to do another like half an hour or so, but I want to save my throat or else I'm not going to be able to do an episode tomorrow. Let me see. So yeah, that's there. Oh, Macarius, thank you. I put a ton of work into the Patreon, so thank you. I've had orbs of light visit me with the Moldavite on it. Oh, Dominic, please. I think we've spoken before via email, but I would love to chat more if we haven't. But anyways, everyone, that's it for today. Thank you so much. Sorry that I was a little bit out of it, but let me see here. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. For those watching right now, you get a bit of a heads up. Everyone else doesn't think that there's an episode tomorrow. We'll surprise them. So, oh, Chelsea, yes. Well, welcome to the family, as we say, right? So 100%. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much, and we will catch you tomorrow. Cheers.